Warning. This streamer is not a Rosa Ushiromiya enjoyer and will likely say mean things about her. All Rosa enjoyers please exert caution in the consuming of these VODs.
Hola, Yuppie, everybody! How's everyone doing, chat? Is everybody ready for more Beatrice? Oh boy. I came a little bit earlier than expected, but again, I couldn't wait until it was exactly 7:30 to start Umineko today. So, without further ado, let me pull up the game. And there we go. I hope the chat is ready, and everybody that's watching this, even if it's live or later the VODs. We will be continuing with chapter 2 today. And I noticed I have a new follower, General Tori. Thank you for the follow. I think I actually have to uncheck some stuff here. Far only is off. Emote only is off as well. I actually edited everything. Give me a second. Up. Okay, this actually was causing problems last time, so I will turn 2 things off. And there we go. Okay. It seems phone and email verification causes problems for new followers, so I turned that off. Maybe you are able to chat now. If not, let me just check something else. Yeah, followers only mode is also off, so every new follower and like even from last week should be able to talk in the chat today. But if anything happens, do let me know and I'll try to get things fixed as fast as I can. And before we start, there's something I would like to say. More or less an ad or more like a shout out to someone I'm super close to. So, my partner in crime, or more like a very close friend who is like family to me, like a brother. He is trying to publish his novel and I wanted to give a shout out to it. Here it is. It's called Witches of the North and he's trying to do a fundraiser right now to get the first book published. I will link the campaign below so you can look at it. I would be very happy if you could look at it and if you could even spread it around to friends. It's a fantasy novel. And if you enjoy lots of snow, magic, and well-written characters like in Umineko, you will enjoy this novel as well. It's great. Alright. Now, without further ado, let's finally get to Umineko. It is time. Load. Let me see, and there we have it. So, last time we left off, Kanon was being an edgelord and rejected Jessica, and Shannon is now going out with George. And Beatrice is waiting for it all to fall apart because she's a little bully and I love her. Alright.
それってどういう意味ですか、ジョージさん。
言葉通りの意味だよ。僕はまだ自分の城を築き上げてない。それができて初めて僕は一人前になれたと思えるんだ。その時、君と結婚したい。
Oh wow. How long have they been dating?
それはその
Shauna's gonna pass out.
もう僕の心が許せないんだ。だから君に婚約指輪を贈りたい。婚約
ですか。
Oh,
でもその
what's this?
私家具ですし。
No! I promise engagement rings look
So
good in furniture too.
じゃあ、家具は人の言うことを聞かないとね。今、君に送るのにふさわしい指輪を作らせてる。多分、今度の親族会議の日には持っていけると思う。その時に送るから、どうか君の返事を聞かせてほしいんだ。君が僕の婚約を受けてくれたら、僕はその席で、
Wala
おじい様
yupi.
を含めた全ての親族の前で君との婚約を宣言する。
Ooh. Damn, ballsy move.
ジョージさん、
Walks up to Kinzo and is like, I am marrying Shannon.
君と僕の仲をふさわしくないと咎める人たちはきっといる。
Some people, it's okay, you can say the Ushiromiyas only.
でもそいつらの顔を見る必要はない。
Damn, denounce the family.
その瞳の中に僕だけを満たしていればいいから、君を必ず幸せにする。それだけは絶対に約束するから。
Oh, bringing happiness. She deserves happiness. Please. Oh, and Beatrice is like, oh, not on my watch.
楽しみでならない。憂に過ぎて腐り落ちる果実の駅に黄金の蝶たちは舞い降りぬ。今より収穫の日が待ち遠しい。宴の時はまだか、まだか。
Oh, man. Ay, ay, ay. Beatrice is over here like, I am so ready for my feasting of tragedy. The first day, October 4th. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is bad news. They had eaten breakfast at a coffee shop in the station building. By chance, the inside of the shop had been decorated with Halloween colors since it was October. Maria had seemed to be awfully pleased with that. For quite some time, she talked loudly inside the train about wanting to have a Halloween festival, without caring that she was attracting the attention of others. Maria! Halloween is popular in Europe and America, but people aren't that familiar with it in Japan. The shopping district was colorful, decorated with orange pumpkins, but the costume parades of children demanding sweets and saying trick or treat were nowhere in sight. Baby girl!
ハロウィン祭りがしたい。
Baby!
こんなお洋服やだ。魔女の格好がいい。
But you look like a little princess witch. Look at your crown!
親族会議は遊びじゃないのよ。
Yes, it is. It's for playing with corpses.
だからちゃんとしたお洋服じゃないとダメ。
But what if grandfather wants her to be like a witch, you know, like Beatrice? While it wasn't completely full inside the train, it was really packed, with almost all seats occupied by passengers. Maria was making a fuss among them, stomping her feet on the seat, while Rosa scowled at her. Rosa had warned her many times to lower her voice, but Maria hadn't obeyed her at all. Once Maria got like this, no matter how much she tried to explain the situation or calm her, she wouldn't listen. Before, Rosa used to pamper Maria and give in to her at times like this. But that had probably been a mistake. Surely Maria had gained the mistaken impression that throwing a tantrum long enough would make her mother give up and do what Maria said. Yes, Kat, thank you for your input. Rosa had realized that error with the help of an educational book, and since then, she'd hardened the part of her heart that wanted to pamper her beloved daughter. Her mutual understanding with Maria began to grow weaker and weaker, and she began to get discouraged by her own powerlessness more and more often. Welp, it's what happens when you spoil your children. Oh, she can actually pronounce it really well.
お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞ
Uh-oh.
あなたにあげるお菓子はありません。さっき朝ごはんを食べたでしょ。
Uh-oh.
お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうお菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃう
Uh-oh. Well, this isn't gonna end well. The happy music is about to be something else. A stout old woman who was sitting nearby as Maria stomped her feet picked the candy out of her handbag and held it out to Maria.
お菓子もらえたお菓子もらえた
Wow.
見て見てママハッピーハロウィーン
Bro. It's not
Call
Halloween yet
Maria.
though.
勝手に人からお菓子をもらっちゃダメでしょ。
Oh well.
返しなさい。
That's an angry Rosa.
いいんですよ。
Thank you, Grandma.
元気なお嬢さんですこと。おいくつです？
Maybe there was no malice in the old woman's words. However, Rosa seemed to find that remark extremely humiliating. Oh boy.
マリア、知らない人からお菓子をもらっちゃいけないっていつも言ってるでしょ。
We are about to have two women throwing a tantrum. A little girl and a grown-ass woman.
これはマリアがもらったのやだマリアの
話しなさい。
Welp.
ママの言うことを聞けっていつも言ってるでしょ。
Welp. And it's fight.
マリアの
Alright, Grandma, we need your assistance. And... oh no.
その言うのをやめなさいって言ってるでしょ。
Man, I don't even want to imagine how the grandma is feeling like now. She gave a candy and then she's like, oh. Rosa reflexively hit Maria violently on her cheek. In a flash, Maria started crying loudly. Rosa immediately took the candy from Maria's hand and pushed it back towards the dumbfounded old woman sitting next to them. Jesus.
うちの子に勝手にお菓子を与えないでください。
My god.
ごめんなさい。
That's kinda rude though! Breathing heavily, Rosa once again held the candy out to the old woman, so that was like a fight just for a piece of candy. On one hand, you shouldn't accept candy from strangers, that much is true, but it's an old lady, come on. After getting flustered about what she should say for a few moments, perhaps the old woman realized that her actions may have troubled this parent and child. Oh, you don't say! And she accepted the candy back, apologizing. Oh, jeez. Well, Rosa, now you have to have the embarrassment forever. After that, Rosa finally took notice of her surroundings. Her daughter's clothes were all messed up. She was crying, shouting with her nose dripping. Congratulations! You didn't want to feel humiliated, now you're gonna be more humiliated. And there were many dumbfounded passengers watching them. Except for the sound of the train running, the interior was completely silent. Fortunately, that pitiful silence didn't last more than a short while. However, it was followed by an even more painful atmosphere as everyone began to whisper. Oops. Maria shouted, cried, kicked and stomped her feet as usual, paying no heed to the people sitting around her. Impulsively, Rosa tried to slap her again, but she noticed the cold eyes of the people in the train and couldn't. I mean, as you shouldn't. Thank you, people of the train. Your service is appreciated. When the train stopped, Rosa forcibly pulled Maria's arm and got off, almost dragging her daughter along. Jesus Christ. Maria didn't stop crying. Rosa took her to the end of the platform and hit her cheek again. Oh no! At the moment she was hit, Maria stopped crying for an instant, but before long she shouted and cried even more than before. Overwhelmed with emotion, Rosa grabbed the nape of Maria's neck and dragged her, tugging at her hair. Jesus Christ, woman, chill! Yikes! This is what we call ineffective parenting 101. Oh no, baby! Stop!
だからうるさいって言ってんのよ。
Oh man. I'm trying to hold back the boiling anger, but it's
そ
hard!
のうーをやめなさいって言ってるでしょ。
Oh god.
そんなんだからクラスにお友達ができないんでしょ。もっとしっかりしてよ。なんであんたはいつまでも頭の中が幼稚園なのよ。
It would be like that though!
どうしてママの言うことが聞けないの。
Maybe you should go to a therapist.
どうして
But I guess the resources didn't really exist at the
どう
time.
して
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. With those severe words, Rosa hit Maria's cheek over and over again. Oh my god. Oh my god. The more Maria cried and shouted, the more Rosa hit her. Rosa is such an ineffective parent. It's amazing. I know she is trying to educate her child because Maria shouldn't also be throwing tantrums in public. I suppose it's a result of spoiling her when she was little, but you know, this isn't right. The more Maria was hit, the more intensely she cried and shouted. Oh no. No.
そのうーをどうしてやめられないの。あんたがそんなんだから友達ができないのよ。 あんたがそんなんだからパパの出張が終わらないのよ。
Ow.
あんたがそんなんだから私が。
お客さんいかがされましたか？
No, nothing is alright.
何かご用ですか？
Yes, we want you to stop beating your child. The one who timidly called to her was the station attendant. Rosa glared at the attendant with a look that said, "Don't butt into the problems of a mother and child, stranger." Of course, the attendant surely hadn't wanted to get involved either. However, Rosa had been yelling on the platform for a much longer time than she had imagined. Her emotional scolding had led the passengers on the platform to advise the attendant to call out to her. Oof! Rosa yelled at the attendant, saying not to worry anymore, since they'd be getting on the next train. And then finally, or rather for the second time, she noticed the passengers on the platform staring at her from a distance. And more humiliation! As much deserved. Maybe she will learn someday that this isn't right. Yes, Rosa joining the worst mom club. Ah, jeez. Rosa sweat slightly and felt the breeze make her sweat go cold, tormenting her. Maria still kept on crying, shielding her own head. Of course, if this beating continued, she'd probably keep crying indefinitely. Well, at least you're self-aware in that extent.
私はまた
Well, it looks like to me Rosa is self-aware in a way. As the terrible heat in Rosa's head faded, she knew she had surrendered her soul to evil again. Aww. The poor girl! Rosa fell to her knees and hugged Maria, whose face was all soggy with tears and mucus.
マリア、ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
You should be sorry! Oh man. Oh no. Finally, Maria realized that her mother was her mother again. Oh no, the implication of this... I wonder what this means. She clung to her mother's body and cried, burying her face in her mother's chest.
悪いママを許して。悪いママを許して。本当にごめんなさい。ママをどうか嫌いにならないで。
Maybe you should move out when you're old enough, Maria. At least if Rosa keeps being like this. Oh no.
ただけ。
Oh no!
ママが帰ってきたから平気。
Oh no! So it is exactly as I thought what she was saying with Mama come back. Wow. Okay. Okay.
悪い魔女にママはまた乗り移られていたの。
No.
本当にごめんね。
Oh no. So this puts Maria being like in the first chapters, witches are real and getting so fervent to defend that they are real. It puts that line of dialogue in such a different light. Like, if witches don't exist, then it means that Rosa doing the things that she does to Maria is her. Like, it means that the mother that Maria loves, who is nice to her and pampers her, is the same as the mother who beats the shit out of her. Yikes, man! This shit's heavy! For a long time, the two of them hugged each other, asking for and sharing words of forgiveness. I am so depressed right now. After a while, they calmed down and both moved back at the same time. Maria's face and Rosa's face were both deep red after crying their eyes out.
マリアはハロウィンのお祭りがしたいの。
うん。ジョージお兄ちゃんやジェシカお姉ちゃんにかぼちゃマシュマロ見せてあげたかった。
Oh man, I turned this episode on to see, ready to see Beatrice bullying, but this just made me so damn sad. It was a candy they'd been selling near the cash register at the shop where they'd eaten breakfast. A fancy sweet that had a big orange marshmallow in the shape of a jack-o'-lantern attached to the tip of a stick. Maria had wanted it and had insistently pestered Rosa for it. Rosa had refused, saying that there was no way she could buy sweets right after breakfast.
じゃあマリア、この町に売っているかどうかわからないけど、降りて探してみようか。
ママ大好き。愛してる。
Ah, I'm so sad.
私もよ、マリア。
See, this is the sort of thing that really depresses me. Like, I've only seen a little bit of interactions between Rosa and Maria, and the depiction of the abuse, of the child abuse, is so damn real. Because the thing in fiction, or that most people think, is that a parent abusing their child, most people think it's because the parent hates them. Like, a lot of people think, yeah, well, the stepmother is likely going to be an abuser, or the stepfather, or whatever. But it happens a lot even with birth parents, or even adoptive parents, or whatever. And it doesn't have to happen by someone who hates you. This can happen with parents who love their children, and that's horrible. It feels so real, and it hurts. It hurts how real it is, Jesus. The truth was that they didn't have time to waste loitering around at the stopover station. If they missed the airplane, they'd fall half a day behind schedule. She should have left home with more time to spare, but she ended up leaving late after choosing Maria's clothes. Because of that, Rosa had been a bit impatient since the morning. She looked at the clock. They had to get on the next train immediately. But her daughter firmly joined hands with her to go buy the sweets with her mother, and that hand was warm. To Rosa, as she was now, it was more important to renew her bonds with Maria. To her, Maria was not only a beloved daughter, she was everything Rosa had. Oh man. Fortunately, they could see a big supermarket right in front of the station. They might not be able to find exactly the same sweet, but Maria would probably be happy with a similar one. Besides, Rosa couldn't show up with a face swelled from crying. She must fix her makeup.
あれと全く同じマシュマロは見つからないかもしれないけど、似たようなお菓子があるといいね。それで いとこのみんなを一緒に驚かそうね。
Christ, the tone in the voice of Rosa when she is angry and abusive, and when she's being nicer. Jesus.
ママと一緒に顔を
Kudos to her voice actress, but wow, this shit's hurting me. They exited through the turnstiles of the station in this unknown town. Maria walked across the pedestrian crossing together with her mother, chuckling to herself as though she was walking in an amusement park. Both faces were still deep red, but the two of them, mother and child, smiled warmly at each other without any restraint. Oh man. Depression time. This is really sad. Like, I suppose this is in theme of like the themes, the cycles of abuse in this family. Like, even if Rosa loves Maria and wants to be a good mother, she just isn't capable of being one. Wow. Probably because of how she was raised. Like, she was abused by her grandfather, probably her parents too. Sorry, she was abused by Kinzo, then abused by all her siblings. And now she is unpacking all of that in Maria. Yikes, Aronies.
こんなところでどうされたのですか?
君か。
Wow, Natsuhi exists and he's like, oh, it's you.
なんでもない。考え事をするのにここが少し心地よかっただけだ。
今日の準備はすべて手配が終わっています。あとはお茶でも飲みながらくつろいで待とうではありませんか。
すまん。君にいつも面倒なことをすべて押し付けている。
Yes, because you're a lazy bitch, Kraus.
私をもっと頼ってはいただけませんか。
Natsuhi does the entire work for you, you lazy bum.
私はあなたの妻です。
Yes, and you are the wife and the true queen of this house.
無論君にはいつも助けられているし、感謝もしている。
Yeah, sure. Sure, I believe you, Kraus.
私は私の仕事に専念できる。
Sorry, my cat's yelling a lot.
わかっています。お仕事のこと、そしてお父様の遺産の話ですね。
君には関係のないことだ。欲深な兄弟たちの腐肉のあさり合いに過ぎ。
Uh-huh. Okay.
大丈夫です。あなた、すべてうまくいきます。あなたのお仕事がうまくいかなかったことはありません。
Man, Natsuhi is a good wife. Kraus doesn't deserve her. Natsuhi softly cuddled close to the Kraus' shoulder. She complimented Kraus on his hard work, but Natsuhi knew better than anyone that his work wasn't going well. Kraus' project was something like a seesaw where a large amount of money swings. Big investments can lead to massive payouts, but like large seesaws, they tend to shake a lot while moving very slowly, instead of showing immediate results. At times, it's possible to make further investments so that the seesaw inclines faster towards the side you want. Of course, you'd only do that if you were confident you'd be able to recover all your investments in the not-so-distant future. However, the seesaws Kraus chose never turned out as he would have liked them to. His foresight wasn't wrong, but the times were moving so sluggishly. They never managed to catch up with him. For example, think of a literal seesaw placed in the dark. It's a really popular item, so there's always someone playing on it. And you've got to wait a long time for your turn. Let's say that one day you spotted one of those seesaws that was completely unused, and you raced to grab it first and have it all to yourself. However, unless someone got on the opposite side of the seesaw, you wouldn't be able to play on it. What if lots of time passed and nobody came to the opposite end? Seesaws are popular, so if you wait long enough, a companion will surely show up. But Kraus noticed something. The weather is getting worse, so nobody's coming outside to play. But seesaws are popular, so someone will surely come eventually. If he vacated his place because of the worsening weather, it will certainly be snatched away. And once again, he'd end up longingly gazing from a distance at someone else having fun on the seesaw. Like the Squidward picture looking at SpongeBob and Patrick, like he's looking. On one side of the seesaw, he continued to wait patiently, all alone. That was Kraus's project and his current situation.
私にもう少しの勇気と自分の先見性を信じる自信があればいつだって失敗はしなかった。
ええ、そうです。あなたの先見性はいつも間違っていません。
Except
あなただけがお父様の才覚を受け継いだのです。他の兄弟たちが誰も受け継がなかった天性のものを受け継がれた。
なのに私はそれを信じられず、いつも臆病に自らの事業を畳んできた。
Probably because Kinzo made you feel like shit.
なぜ自分を信じることができないの？
I mean, getting slapped by Kinzo even now at the dinner table probably does a number to your self-confidence. Even though you're a shitty husband.
誰も信じない。
Yeah, but that sucks.
敗者の座るべき椅子に自ら座り、親父にもおふくろにも兄弟たちにも笑われる。私はいつになったらこのコンプレックスから解放されるのだ。
Man, this family has some issues. Natsuhi was the only one who knew. Only she knew of Kraus's anguish. As the eldest son of the Ushiromiya family, who would soon be forced to bear an immense responsibility, he couldn't open his paint heart to anyone, and was always getting compared to his father's great enterprises.
あなたが親族会議に専念できるよう、すべての手配を済ませています。すべて。
Man, Kraus should really appreciate Natsuhi more.
親父殿の件は問題ないかね？
はい。源氏と南條先生は私たちの味方です。あの強欲な兄弟たちを決してお父様には合わせません。
Nice. You know, Kraus may be a kind of shitty husband, at least from the impression that I got in chapter 1. They look like they function a little if only Kraus could get himself together. Hello, Buttchin man. I've missed seeing that Buttchin. In the kitchen, multicolored ingredients were gathered and the preliminary arrangements were promptly being started. Even though it was still morning, the ingredients for dinner were already in saucepans and steaming. Not streaming. The saucepans are streaming. They are on Twitch. Normally we had to deal with several assorted matters, but on the day of the family conference, he could devote himself entirely to cooking. To Goda, who was originally a chef, this was surely the greatest gala occasion of the whole year.
ディナーには子牛のステーキを。素晴らしい肉がすでに保冷庫で今夜を待ちわびておりますよ。
Calf steak.
まかないも今夜はぜひ期待してください。
It was rare for Goda to be in this good of a mood towards his fellow servants. Goda bragged about being the Ushiromiya family's personal chef, and knowing he was considered worthy to display his excellent cooking at the family conference was his greatest honor.
わかった。任せるのでよろしく頼む。あと、熊沢がそちらにいないか？
熊沢さんですか？先ほど見かけましたが、こちらにはおりません。
I hope she's doing well. I love her.
ゲストハウスの方へ準備に行かれたのではないでしょうか。
また油を売っているのか。
Let her loaf. She's an old lady. She deserves to rest.
では引き続きよろしく頼む。
ええ、万事この豪太にお任せを。
Genji placed the telephone back on the receiver, sighing slightly. Genji sighed once again, thinking of Kumasawa, who was probably hiding again, even though things were this busy. Let the woman rest! And the ostentatious Goda, who only felt like doing anything on a day when he could show off.
失礼します。ゲストハウスの各お部屋の準備が整いました。
お嬢様より、お子様方が泊まれるよう、4人分の用意をするようにとのご指示を賜りましたが、いかがいたしましょう。
Let me see. I remember Canon used Milady for, I think, Jessica, and Madam for Natsuhi, or was it like the other way around? I'll find out.
今年は6年ぶりにバトラ様がお見えになるそうだ。お嬢様もいとこ4人で夜更かしをされたい。
Alright, so it is Jessica.
準備するように。奥様にはお伝えしなくてよい。
そうですね。かしこまりました。
Yes.
今夜は深夜勤で、そのまま明日は早朝勤か。しんどい2日間になりそうだな。
そういえば、台風が直撃するって天気予報で言っていますね。
Oh yes, the dreaded typhoon from chapter 1.
大丈夫でしょうか。
The inescapable typhoon.
それない限り、場合によっては親族の皆様方のお帰りの船に響くだろう。親族会議の日程が月曜か火曜あたりまで長引くかもしれない。長丁場になるだろうが、皆くれぐれも粗相のないように頼む。
We will do our best, Mr. Genji.
シャノンは焦らぬよう落ち着いて。カノンは愛想よくご挨拶をするように。
はい、注意します。
Yes.
注意します。
大切なお客様がお越しになられる日だ。くれぐれも粗相がない。
A very important guest?
心得てい
Are
ます。
they referring to Battler?
いつだってここには大切なお客様しか訪れませんから。
カノン、今日は本当の意味で大切なお客様を迎える。
Okay.
心構えを改めるように。
A very important guest?
はい。
Whomst?
シャノン、どうした？さっきから何かそわそわしているようだが、何か時間の約束でもあるのか？
Oh,
いえ、なんでもありません。
what was she
失
distracted
礼いたし
about?
ました。
姉さん、今日は大切なお客様がお越しになる日なんだよ。プライベートとは切り離すようにね。
プライベートなんか知りません。
As Shannon blushed just a bit, she turned her gaze away from the clock. Was it about time for the airplane carrying the family to arrive at Nijima? She tried to hide the fact that her upcoming long-awaited reunion with George was making her heart race. The Canon, who stood beside her, seemed to see right through her. Aww. Was she like at the corner, like face red, going like, hee. She's so cute, what the heck? I don't want Shannon to die again, but oh boy. It's probably gonna be everyone dies again.
シャノン、これを黙って受け取ってくれ。
Oh, okay, I was about to be like, is he proposing in the bathroom? And then I'm like, oh no, I'm silly. He's practicing. Inside a bathroom stall, George was practicing something over and over, taking out the small velvet box hidden in his pocket like a quick-draw desert gunman.
違うな。シャノンは牽引力のある男性が好きなんだ。もっと馬力がある感じじゃないとダメだ。
With more horsepower! Yeah, just toss it with full force.
シャノン、これを薬指につけるんだ。命令だよ。
Nah.
左手とちゃんと言わないと右手にされちゃうかもしれない。いや、シャノンもそこまでかまととじゃないけど、でも少しは自由意志がないとなんだかその。
George Mobile, now on sale! It's better than an Audi and a Mercedes-Benz. It comes in lime yellow color and mustard color. As he crossed his arm, muttering, someone knocked on the door. George was snapped back to reality.
Oh, George 君、大丈夫か？腹の調子でも悪いのか？
ルドルフおじさん。
Nah, he's becoming a car.
大丈夫です。平気です。ご心配は無用です。
そっか。ならいいんだけどね。
Der gute Rudolf.
気にすぎるなよ。
Good to see him again.
尻が切れちまうぜ。
Damn. Rudolph washed his hands, laughing cheerfully as he left. George, realizing that the most embarrassing part hadn't been overheard, relaxed and felt extremely relieved. I think hearing you make a car impression was embarrassing enough, man.
まだよ。遅いわね。
天候調整中だからいいようなものを。これで普段通りのダイヤだったらあいつ乗り遅れちまうぜ。そしたらどうする気なんだあいつ。
ローザさんだっていい年の大人よ。なんとかするわ。兄って人はいくつになっても妹を子供扱いなのね。
親父だっていくつになっても子供だけどな。
Oh, look who's back!
だと俺が子供ならおめえは赤ん坊じゃねえか。
Yes, a baby who has been spinning chessboard since he was a toddler.
ほれほれ、バトラちゃん、高い高い。
Oh my god.
やめろ、くすぐって。やめ。
親子ってより。
Well, Battler is going to tickle jail.
って感じね。ほら、いらしたわよ。
おお、ローザさんやないか、マリアちゃん。久しぶりやの。
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't in chapter 1, Rosa and Maria arrive at around this time as well?
久しぶり。
マリア、お久しぶりです。でしょ?
I think this is the same from chapter 1. This is interesting.
そうや。よく言えたな。
So, I do believe that this is a loop after all.
あれどこにしまったんや。
ローザさん、お久しぶりです。マリアちゃんもお久しぶり。ご無沙汰してます、キリエ姉さん、秀吉兄さんと。あら、バトラ君？大きくなったわね。
Yes, he's become taller than you. Him become a large boy. I think he's even taller than Rudolph.
今日は会うたびに言われてて恥ずかしいっすよ。
おう、ローザ、遅かったな。飛行機がダイヤ通りだったらギリギリってとこだったぜ。
ごめんなさい。列車の接続がうまくいかなくて。何？また天候調査中なの？
Yes, we are. In the truest sense, again, we are looping.
船で6時間も揺られるくらいなら飛行機でほんの30分の方がずっとマシよ。たとえ1時間余計に待たされたって全然早いんだから。
あれがマリアなのか？大きくなったな。成長期か？
前に会ったのは6年前？それは変わるわよ。女は心変わりがあればたった1日でも生まれ変わる生き物よ。
Maria, noticing a big man she didn't recognize, mixed in among the relatives, hid behind Rosa's back and glared at Battler.
おいバトラ、挨拶しろい。
Yes, say hi.
前にやったのが3歳の時じゃ。初対面も同じだぞ。
3歳じゃ覚えてねえよな。よ、マリア。久しぶり。大きくなったな。
マリア、バトラお兄ちゃんよ。ルドルフおじさんの息子さん。わかる？
おじさんの息子さん。
The brother's son.
おじさんが息子さん。
She was obviously on her guard. After all, it was hardly surprising that she'd be scared if a large guy like Battler suddenly started speaking frankly to her. Battler noticed that as well and thought of various ways he might approach her. Then he spotted the candy she had in her hand. It was a jack-o'-lantern sweet Rosa had bought for her.
そっか。10月だからハロウィンか。
Was that here last time?
お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞ。
Normally, trying to snatch a sweet away from a small child will result in them crying and screaming. The adults seemed dubious about Battler's tactics, but Maria looked unexpectedly pleased, her face splitting into a wide grin.
Halloween!
Yay!
こら、 バトラお兄ちゃんと呼びなさい。ごめんね、バトラ君。
いやいや、気にしないっすよ。俺はバトラと呼んでくれ。俺もマリアって呼ぶからな。ほらマリア、ハロウィンだぞ。
Yes, October 4th is Halloween. It's Poopy Month.
お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞ。
She's having fun. This is the serotonin I needed after the last scene. From inside her purse, Maria picked out a jack-o'-lantern seed similar to the one she had in her hand and presented it to Battler. When Battler accepted it, that seemed to be enough to confirm their friendship. Yes, the adults were amazed at how good children can be at getting along with each other. Maria had been throwing a tantrum because she wanted a Halloween festival, so Battler, who knew about trick-or-treating, must have felt like an ally. Her defensive posture from before was completely gone. Now she was all cheery, as though they'd been friends for decades.
そうだな。日本じゃハロウィンってマイナーなイベントだよな。
Is it?
仮装行列で練り歩くなんて。
That's interesting to know.
向こうのニュースではよく見るけど、日本じゃ見たことないぜ。
マリアも仮装したかった。
But you're wearing your little crown!
お菓子をくれなきゃいたずらしちゃうぞってやりたかった。
She wanted to be a witch, didn't she?
そっかそっか。今度俺と一緒にやろうな。マリアだったら何の仮装をして練り歩きたい？
魔女ベアトリーチェ。
Oh. She wants to be Beatrice. Oh. Yes. She wants to be the madam herself. Oh my god, is Kumasawa hiding here? Like, can you imagine she was hiding behind the painting, like... No, actually behind the curtains, like, oh. Like a chopper would.
どうせみなりは大丈夫かとか言葉遣いをちゃんとするようにとかお小言が言いたいだけに違いないぜ。
Oh.
違いありません。
私はさ、なぜか親族会議の日になるとこの魔女様が気になるんだよ。
Maybe because the last time the witch killed us all.
またどうしてでございましょう。
親族会議ってのはじい様に連なるすべての一族老頭が集まる日だ。今年は6年ぶりにバトラも来るそうじゃねえか。
Yes, he is coming back.
そんな感じでさ、何十年かぶりに今までずっと姿を現さなかった親族が
ほほう、そんな親族がおりますでしょうか。
I'm sure there is
ベアト
one.
リーチェ様だよ。素性は誰も知らない。あるいは大昔のじい様の愛人なのか。その子孫がひょっこりと現れて授けた黄金を返せなんて言い出すかもしれないぜ。
I hope
クラ
not.
ウス様たちは親方様の遺産問題で今年も議論されるでしょうから。
It's always about the money.
こうも魔女の黄金の話で盛り上がっては黄金を与えた魔女本人がそろそろおいでになってもおかしくありませんね。
Ah, wouldn't that be nice?
熊沢さんはさ、辞めたり勤めたりと忙しいけど現実さん並みに昔からここに出入りしてるわけでしょ。ベアトリーチェのこともっと知ってるんじゃないの？
さてどうで
I love her so much.
思い出そうにもこの老いぼれ、今朝の朝食すらも思い出せませんので。
Relatable.
熊沢さんはいっつもそういう言い方で逃げるけど何か知ってそうなんだよな。知ってて物陰で笑ってるみたいな陰湿な雰囲気が時々するぜ。
Maybe she is.
これは手厳しい。隠し事など何もしておりません。私から申し上げられることは、ベアトリーチェ様は黄金の魔女であられて、この島の夜を支配されているもう一人の主人であられる ということだけでございます。
And she bullies furniture. It's apparently her hobby.
受け売りかよ。給料もらってるとはいえ、じいさまの妄言に付き合うのも大変だな。
I mean, if you get paid for it, it's nice.
ただ、これだけは申し上げられます。
何？
六軒島は太古の昔、小豆島と呼ばれて恐れられてきました。
Azuki Bean Island.
小豆は悪時期がなまったものと言われ、本当は悪時期島と呼ばれていたのだと、漁民たちの間では伝えられておりました。
前にも聞いたよ。この辺は暗礁が多くて海難事故が多かったから、領民たちが恐れてむやみに近づかなかったって話だろ。
は
あ、悪時期島には悪霊が住み着いていて、太古の昔から人々の魂を喰らい続けてきました。この島に関わり命を奪われた人間はあまりにも多いのです。
それを旅の修験者だかなんだかが例の社を作って鎮魂したんで収まったってんじゃなかったっけ？
Oh, so the same shrine where the mirror is in.
その鎮魂の社はこの夏、暗き闇を引き裂く紫色の不気味な雷で打ち砕かれたとか。
Oh no. Well, I guess Beatrice is free.
熊沢さん、その話好きだな。
What if I told you it's not a story though?
鎮魂の社が落雷でなくなっちまうなんて不気味だが、まあもともとオンボロだったしな。ちょっと高い波にでもさらわれたんじゃねえのかな。
眠りから目覚めた悪時期島の悪霊がベアトリーチェ様を呼び寄せたのです。もしベアトリーチェ様が親族会議に訪れられるようなことがあったなら。
あったなら？
Kumasawa fell silent for a moment. She's gonna kill us all. Jessica was pressing her to keep going, so that gap felt strange and eerie. When Kumasawa noticed that she had Jessica plenty scared with her silence, she grinned broadly.
はてさて、どんなことになるやら。
Murder is gonna happen. Murder! No one shall be left alive.
そいつは素敵じゃないかよ。
でしょ？たまには優雅な時間を得て、あなたの心を豊かにするのも、あなたの仕事に役に立つんじゃないかしら。
だな。心と財布は豊かじゃなきゃいけねえ。わかったよ。その日は開けておくことにする。予約を頼むぜ。
わかったわ。絶対よ。
ああ、よろしく頼む。愛してるぜ、キリエ。
Oh, is this a flashback? After kissing the receiver, Rudolph hung up. Before his seat, there were several executives with their sleeves rolled up, eagerly awaiting the end of that phone call.
すまん、待たせたぜ。アメリカから連絡は来たか？
はい。外線にデイル渡辺弁護士からです。
Dale Watanabe。
おつなぎします。
結局のところ、感触はどうなんだ？
それが一つ芳しくないようでして。
The money。
先方は裁判をも辞さないつもりのようです。
やっぱりごまかしきれねえかな。
Oh shit。
つないでくれ。
わかりました。すぐに。
The executive ordered that the external line to be transferred to the secretarial office. At once, the phone in front of Rudolph rang.
もしもし。
Sorry. Gotta hydrate a little.
ハローハロー。お待たせしました。Ushiromiyaです。
It got me so off guard. Hello, hello. Oh my god. Rudolph picking up the phone and going like, hello, hello. This is Rudolph. Boy, she did your mom.
どうもどうも。
Jesus.
いかがですかそちらは。
Hello, President Ushiromiya. 挨拶は抜きで本題に入りましょう。いいニュースと悪いニュースがありますが、どちらを先にしますか？
悪いニュースが先がいいな。デザートがないと頑張れないたちなんだ。
わかりました。悪いニュースは先方が当方を告発する準備に入ったということです。つい先日類似した裁判で原告が圧勝する判決が出されました。
Jeez. This ain't looking good for Rudolph. This isn't looking good for Rudolph.
ほぼ同じ内容で論戦していたのですが、すべてに残念ながらこのまま法廷に臨めば当方の主張はことごとく却下される可能性が極めて高いでしょ
う。例の裁判全滅だったか。うちより有利な条件だったと思ってたんだが、そりゃ辛いな。
Well, maybe you should hire local lawyer Phoenix White.
いいニュースは？
先方の幹部と接触できました。先方に当方の立ち位置を説明し、先方のブランドイメージを侵害する意図がないことを説明し、理解。先方は近日中に条件提示を行い、それらの履行が行われるなら告発を見送ると約束しました。
感触は？
取締役会のナンバー2による発言です。正直非常に厳しいものになると予想されます。
man.
当方の想定では避けられないものとして、社名変更、ブランド名変更、交渉の余地のあるものとして若い金額、大手新。
うちに潰れろと一言言やいいのに、周りくどい奴らだぜ。
先方は近年2代目社長に交代したばかりで、まだ足固めが終わっていません。当方が徹底抗戦した場合、現社長に失点を与えたい勢力が何らかの利的工作をしかねないと懸念しています。そのため先方トップも本件を速やかに解決したいという思惑があるようです。
So are we resisting?
そのため迅速な和解のために多少の条件緩和を引き出せる余地も残っているかもしれません。
いずれにせよ、とんでもねえ金が必要になるか。
その覚悟は必要です。そしてそれでも懲罰的賠償金よりははるかに安いかと。
ありがとう先生。また進展があったら連絡してください。先生は高級鳥だからヨタ話もできねえ。サンキューサンキュー。グッバイ。
Rudolph hung up the phone. The executives sitting in the reception seats seemed to have guessed at the contents of that discussion.
聞こえたか野郎ども。まあそうじるとだ。
We're gonna go broke.
金さえ積みや堪忍してやるぜってわけだ。あとは金の高だけを争点にすりゃいい。
しかし社長、渡辺氏の示した和解金の想定額はあまりにも膨大です。それだけの余裕はありません。
こんなことになるって分かってたら高くかなんて始めんじゃなかったぜ。
3年しのげれば資金的危機は脱出できる計算でした。
Oh boy.
まさかここで刺されるなんて本当についてない。
Sucks, doesn't it?
ステップジャンプのステップでこけちまったんだもんな。泣けるぜ。
メインバンクから金を引っ張るしかありません。
銀行はまずいな。連中は勝ち馬にしか金を出さん。景気は上向いてるが銀行に弱みは見せられね
え。Oh boy.
社長、母外に資金はありますか？我々の把握していない資金です。
よせやい。俺がそういう男に見えるかよ。俺の財布の中身は全てお前らにさらしてるぜ。そこにある帳簿が我が社の全てだ。
なら金策が必要です。
Raise
数百
money.
万ドル単位を引っ張れるスポンサーが大至急必要です。
社長の交友関係でなんとかなりませんでしょうか？社長
What?
ああ、落ち着けてめえら。金策は俺が何とかする。お前らはガタガタせずに業務を維持しろ。金さえ積めば向こうは許すと言ってるんだ。すでに俺たちはアジアに太いパイプを持ってる。いろいろ響くだろうが取引は維持できる。要は金さえ積めりゃ全て解決できる問題なんだ。
As you do.
俺が全て解決する。お前らを路頭に迷わせなんかしねえぞ。大船に乗った気でいろい。無事に解決したらお前ら全員をシャンパンタワーでねぎらってやるぜ。約束する。 だから黙って俺についてこい。いいな。
You better bring that champagne tower. The airplane suddenly shook, probably due to turbulence. Rudolph was jolted awake. He'd woken early that morning and ended up drifting off to sleep while resting in his head.
大丈夫？まだだいぶ眠いんじゃないの？このところだいぶ仕事が忙しかったようだし。
仕事が忙しいなんて大いに結構じゃねえか。俺が暇になっちまったら俺たち明日から路頭に迷うぜ。
そうね。バトラ君も帰ってきたんだから、二人で物乞いすればいいって問題じゃないわよ。
Well?
そうだな。6年ぶりに家族が揃ったんだからな。家族水入らずで過ごせるよう課長が頑張らねえとな。
When he looked out the window, he saw the airplane had already started to drop in altitude considerably. The fishing boats that had only looked like black grains a short while ago were starting to become clearly recognizable.
親父に土下座して原骨一発で1000万借りられるなら1ダースくらいもらっときてえところなんだから。
That would be nice, huh?
とっととお隠れになってくれりゃいいんだが散々すねをかじって今度は遺産目当てか。
What?
俺は地獄行きだな。そりゃこんな俺に親父も会いたくはないだろうよ。
Your dad is a difficult man.
まさか今年も親族会議にお出にならないつもりですかな。
He was like, if it isn't Beatrice, it's not my business. Nanjo looked at Kinzo's face, sighing. Kinzo's eyes remained rooted to a strange book on magic.
ハゲタカどもの議論に加わるつもりはない。好きに我が骨のしゃぶり方でも議論するがよかろう。実にくだらぬ。
Bob?
やれやれ。
Even Nanjo is tired. Nanjo shook his head slightly. To him, children and grandchildren were lovely things. He believed watching them grow was the only way to truly enjoy old age. So Kinzo's words were very saddening to Nanjo.
この部屋を出るべき時が来れば私は姿を現す。あれが姿を未だ現さぬようにな。
Well, when Kinzo raised his face, his gaze pointed at the portrait of the witch, which was respectfully displayed on the wall. It's like I said, if it's not Beatrice, it's not his business, apparently. Kinzo's mind didn't dwell for a moment on the fact that today was a family conference where all of his beloved relatives would gather. It was filled only by the face of the witch in the oil painting, who never smiled except inside the portrait. Everybody knew that interrupting Kinzo when he talked about Beatrice would trigger his wrath.
私は今日、ある儀式を執り行う。
You know, murder, I guess.
それは何ですかな？
儀式というよりは博打に近い。なぜなら、リスクを負わぬ魔法に奇跡は宿らぬからだ。
Nanjo had heard Kinzo say this many times before. You might even call it a pet phrase of Kinzo's. Kinzo apparently believed that magic and miracles could occur if you gambled your own fate with a certain amount of risk and triumphed.
かつて黄金のギャンブラーと言われた金蔵さんがいつお迎えが来てもおかしくないそのご老体で一体どんな博打に挑みますやら。これは見ものですな。
なるほど。研究を尽くした秘術の儀式も魔法にたけぬお前にかかれば博打呼ばわりか。まあいい。奇跡を信じる私が勝てば、お前の目には水鏡にしか見えなかったであろう我が研究のすべてが、お前が勝てば、見たままの通り、いつ迎えが来てもおかしくない年寄りの水鏡に終わるだけだ。
So is this gonna be Kinzo and Nanjo chess playing?
一体どんなギャンブルを始めるやら。
Murder, sir.
あなたの友人としてその賭けに、いや、儀式でしたか。その儀式にあなたが勝てるよう心からお祈りするだけです。
感謝する。
そういえば金蔵さん、今年の親族会議には懐かしい客がおられるそうですな。
Humst?
何?
He didn't know? For once, Kinzo reacted to Najo's words and turned around.
ほら、ルドルフさんのところのバトラ君です。6年ぶりにおいでになるそうじゃありませんか。きっと立派になっていますよ。
なんだ、バトラ6年ぶり程度の客人など懐かしいなどと呼びはせぬ。
He was ready to hear that it was Beatrice. After hearing Battler's name and making a disappointed and ill-humored expression, Kinzo turned his back again.
金蔵さんにとっての6年など、この部屋で研究に没頭すればあっという間のことでしょうからな。
本当に懐かしい客はあるいは訪れるかもしれん。すべてはルーレットの出目次第だ。すでにルーレットは回り始めている。
The roulette of the tomato.
ルージュかノワールか。今宵ルーレットがどんな奇跡を見せてくれるのか楽しませてもらおうではないか。配当は大きいぞ。
Oh yeah, they were.
そして負ける気はせぬ。ベアトリーチェよ、我が賭けを受けるがいい。
Please, ma'am, accept my invitation. At that time, the telephone on the table rang. The piercing sound seemed to irritate Kinzo, and he picked up the receiver to preserve the silence as much as he could.
何事か、私は忙しい。
現時でございます。親族の皆様方が
だからどうしたというのだ。適当に茶でも出せばよい。
Just serve them something to drink. I don't know, man.
そのようにいたします。
Kinzo hung up the phone rudely. Looking at that, Nanjo sighed yet again and shifted his attention outside the window. As he is now, I doubt Kinzo would pay any heed to any sort of guest. Could any guest possibly make Kinzo come out when the time comes, as he said? Kinzo had a single person in mind, but that was a guest who certainly wouldn't appear. Yep. Except at the very end, I guess. Or, if he's lucky and can actually see, if... Nanjo stared at the witch of the portrait with an impassive expression, unable to decide whether she was smiling or sad, and then gazed up at the lead-colored sky. Oh, madam, is it oh, what's this? Yes, so are all the pieces in place? Shall we line them up all again and start a new game? None at all, please play with me, ma'am. Oh, what's this? The witch looked at him challengingly while elegantly smoking her pipe. And Battler? He just rudely shrugged his shoulders as if he didn't care what she did. He didn't meet her eyes, but that didn't mean he didn't intend to challenge her. It showed his clear determination to never be taken in by this bastard's tricks. It was an expression of his determination to fight.
まさか無策ではあるまいな。
お前の出方がわからねえ以上。策も何もねえぜ。好きに先手を取ればいいじゃねえか。
Oh, the chess game begins!
もちろんそうさせていただくぞ。お前の守りをいかに崩すか、なんてで詰めるか。わらわの腕の見せ所よ。
お前がどんな手で来ようが、俺はお前を信じない。その一点を俺が貫き通す限り、俺に負けはない。ってことはだ、このゲームはお前に勝てないようにできてるぜ。
そうかもしれん。しかしな、ゲームを何度繰り返すかはわらわが決めるぞ。そしてわらわが勝ち、そなたが負けを認めるまで何度でも繰り返されるぞ。
So is each arc just a new game board? Interesting. Okay, so it's like a loop, but in the sense of each group, I guess, or each arc is a different board, but with the same set pieces at the start.
そなたがわらわに屈服するまで続く永遠の災難。そなたがわらわを魔女の存在を認めるまで永遠に続く。
なら、俺もお前が根負けするまで何度でも無限に付き合ってやるぜ。
So until she gets
意地の
bored.
張り合いってやつでは負けた例がねえんだ。
どこぞの魔女にでも入れ知恵されたかまあよい。
コタクは聞き飽きたぜ。さあ、おっ始めやがれ。
Let's go!
そなたの指し手はすでに知り尽くしておる。手の内を知られた守りなどたかが知れておる。同じ手でしのぎきれると思うでないぞ。
ベアトリーチェ、一つだけ最初に言っておくことがある。
Which is?
なんだ。
お前が何をのたまおうと自由だ。
I'm gonna beat you up!
俺が信じるかどうか、常に俺が
On my
自
own.
分で決める。貴様の魔法がどれほどのものだったとしても、俺の魂は屈しない。
Yes, and I'll spin the
こ
chessboard.
れは俺への拷問だと？違うね。
ならばなんだというのか。
これはお前への拷問なのさ。
Bold words for a man who doesn't even know how this game board works. Like me!
それまで繰り返される拷問なのさ。
面白いかな。その例えやよし。互いを苛み合う拷問とは実に面白い。
Yes.
さーて、始めようではないか。
This is how couples play fighting games. We torment each other. Let's fucking go! The game begins! It is time. Alright, it's nighttime. No, it's daytime. I can't read the clock. Every year, the relatives visiting Rokkenjima would let out a sigh of admiration at the rose garden that first greeted them. They would stop there to chat about the rose's beauty and how well they were blooming that year. In the midst of all this, there was a single unhealthy rose, and Mari became overwhelmed with dejection at its confusion. But George used his quick wits, and saying that everything would be fine if they took care of this poor thing, marked it with a candy wrapper and immediately restored Maria's good mood. Oh no, I don't think I can do the rose scene again. Then Bachelor, with whom she'd been getting along well since that morning, started talking about Halloween. This was such a favorite topic of Maria's that she began playing around energetically again. To Maria, that marshmallow jack-o'-lantern candy bought by her mother was probably the greatest sort of treasure. They seemed to have bought several, and she demanded a trick-or-treat from every person she met, giving them candy instead of the other way around. That's sweet. Because witches. Because it's fun to trick or treat, and it's fun to see the skeletons dance.
普段と違う格好をしてはしゃぎ合うってのは楽しいぜ。
多分僕はもう少しディープな理由によるものだと思うな。何しろ魔女のマリアちゃんだからね。
そういや、飛行場でもマリアは仮装するなら魔女になりたいって言っていたっけ。マリアって魔女が好きなんだ。
Yes, a lot. But only...
大好きよ。
Yeah.
困ったくらいに。
So much that it becomes her problem. I wonder why!
まあまあ。あのくらいの年頃はファンタジックな存在に憧れるもんですから。
Yes, and well...
せめてテレビアニメのヒロインに憧れるくらいなら可愛いんだけど。
Indeed, sigh. Judging by Rose's appearance, she wasn't very happy about her daughter's love for witches as a mother. The cousin other than Battler seemed to realize this, and they shrugged, wearing stiff smiles.
魔女好きだと ハロウィンも好きになるって論法なのか？わかんなきゃ本人に聞けばいいか。
Let's not.
おい、マリア、ハロウィンと魔女って何か関係あるのか？
As Batter asked that, George and Jessica let out a stifled ah, as if they were trying to stop him, but too late. Maria might have been waiting for just that question. Uh-oh, after beaming for an instant, her expression turned a little mean, as if to say, "You're totally clueless, aren't you? You know jack shit, you little shit! You big shit battler!" It was the face of a hobbyist who's been ticked off by an outsider saying something stupid about their favorite subject. They want to get dissed.
ケルト人は1年間を通じてその勢いを変える太陽は1年を通して生まれ、育ち、老いて死んで、そして再び蘇ると考えていたの。
納得だな。春のか弱いポカポカした太陽がどんどん成長して暑いくらいになり、次第に痩せ衰えていく様をなるほど太陽の一生と考えるのもうなずけるぜ。
だから彼らは10月の最後に太陽は死に、死の国で体を休めて冬至の日に再び蘇ると考えたの。それで太陽が1年の生涯を終えて死ぬその日を大晦日サビンと呼んでお祝いしたの。
再び日照時間が長くなりだす冬至の日を太陽の復活の日とする考え方はとても面白いよね。
That's an interesting way to see it.
いかに太陽を神聖視していたかがわかるエピソードだよ。
で、それが魔女とどう関係があるんだ?
It seemed that my casual urging forward had slightly infuriated Maria. She glared at me with eyes that told me to shut the hell up while she explained. Maria seemed to be having a blast as she talked, so I decided not to interrupt.
10月と11月の狭間は生と死が最も近くなる。ケルト人たちはこの時期に聖者の世界と死者やこの世ならざる者の世界が最も近づき、異界の住人たちがたくさん訪れると信じてたの。日本でいうお盆みたいなものだよ。
I see. At the time, people believed that souls returning to the physical world would go into people's houses or possess people and do bad things. So in order to avoid harm, they performed rituals. One of those was to imitate creepy monsters and scare the souls back, which was apparently a way to avoid being possessed.
その部分がお祭りになっていって仮装行列になってったんだな。マリアは本当に物知りだぜ。
ほんまやな。
Oh. Wait, I didn't remember Hideyoshi being part of the scene, but oh well. I mean, this one is entirely new. Her knowledge was so extensive that the adults had suddenly started listening into. I wonder if Battler here is conscious of the game he's playing with Beatrice and is basically like asking Mario like in a fighting game, like, okay, so can you give me the witch's tech? I need to know how to counterplay witches, you know? I need to know how my matchup is gonna be like. Maria, please. Her knowledge was so extensive that the adults had suddenly started listening in too. Maria, who was normally treated like the youngest all the time, puffed out her chest with pride. Saying that this was just a kid's discussion, Rosa suggested that the adults go on ahead and set their luggage down in their guest house. But nobody else agreed to go with her, and she let out a heavy sigh. Because this shit is interesting, Rosa!
トリックオアトリートは単なるお遊び。本来のケルト人たちの儀式とは何の関係もない。それは後にキリスト教の習慣が混合してできたものなの。でもマリアは本来のハロウィンの姿とはそうあるべきだと思うの。
According to Maria, the souls of the dead weren't the only ones who visited from the non-human world. There were also spirits with intimate connection to people's everyday lives. Humans could receive favors from those spirits, so they managed to gain magnificent blessings, as well as years' worth of good crops. I suppose. And a bullying festival, if it's Beatrice coming in to bully furniture?
季節的にもいろいろ節目って気がするぜ。日本の4月のちょうど反対側だもんな。なるほど。キリはいいかもしれねえな。
I need to hold on, I need to go to the bathroom. bunnies, I'm coming! Just need to get myself wrapped up in my blanket because it's cold! Alright.
そしてね、魔女たちはね、その時期に魔女集会サバトを開いたの。魔女たちは豊かな恵みをもたらしてくれた精霊たちに感謝し、ねぎらったの。
I see.
ハロウィンの仮装は向こうから来る客人たちの模倣。つまり彼らにお菓子を施すのは一年の収穫への感謝の気持ちがあってもいいわけだね。
I really like this track playing. It's really nice.
ジョージお兄ちゃんの言う通
り。つまりハロウィンはこの世とあの世の交流のある時期ってわけなんだな。それでつまり魔女たちにとってはそういう世界の客人たちと交流できる大切な機会だったと、そう言いたいわけか。
Sorry.
バトラの言う通り。だからね、魔女たちや悪魔たちの力が最も活発で盛んになるのが10月なの。きっとベアトリーチェも来てくれる。そしてね、一緒にマシュマロお菓子食べてマリアも黄金鏡に連れてってもらうの。一緒に魔法のお歌を歌って魔法の呪文を習ってそしてね、ルーンの秘密を習って早くマリアを立派な魔女にしてもらうの。
And then?
あらあら、それは素敵ね。子供は夢があるのが一番よ。ところでローザ、マリアちゃんは今年でいくつになったんだったかしら？
9 or 10?
マリア、もうそのお話は終わりにしなさい。
気にしないでローザさん。女の子なら誰だって一度は思い描く夢じゃない。
ありがとうございます。でももうマリアはそういう年を卒業していますので。
But she's not 10 yet.
ほら、やめなさいと言ってるでしょ。
Rosa scolded Maria, trying to shut her up before her teary discussion about black magic earned her the sneakers of the relatives.
へえ、そいつはなんだかスケールのでかい話だな。
Thanks, Maria. I'm taking that tech.
ところで、ベアトリーチェって誰だっけ？なんだっけ？聞いた名前だな。
Patrick had been gone for 6 years and had completely forgotten about the legend of the Rokkenjima witch. You sure? However, when he said he didn't know Beatrice's name, Maria's once bright mood soared in an instant. Patrick, please, you're gonna make this worse. When he saw that, Patrick immediately remembered that it was the name of the witch of this island. But the damage had been done. Until Maria's mood improved, she went on and on about many mysterious and fabulous episodes regarding the Golden Witch. And Rosa probably got pissed. Cool!
もうよしなさい、マリア。ありがとうね、バトラ君。お話に付き合ってくれて。カノン君、お仕事があるんでしょ？もう行ってちょうだい。ゴーダさん、みんなとりあえず荷物を置きたがってると思うの。悪いんだけど、みんなをゲストハウスへ案内してくれるかしら。
Oh boy.
かしこまりました。それでは皆様、ゲストハウスへご案内いたします。
それでは失礼いたします。
Gola led the relatives and they began to head towards the guest house. And boy, this is gonna become a battlefield. They were eager to set down their luggage and take a breather, so they didn't realize that Rosa and Maria weren't coming with them. Oh no. Well shit, I'm not gonna enjoy this. After watching them leave towards the guest house, Rosa's face changed suddenly. Well shit. She let go with the hand that had been gripping Maria this whole time. There was a bright red mark there, making it clear how much excessive force she had been using on Maria's slender arm. Yikes! That hand then slapped against Maria's head, pinched her left ear, and lifted. Youch!
それはママとの約束だといつも言っているでしょ。ママ痛い、ママ痛い、ハロウィンうるさいのよ、あんたは。魔女のお祭り？
Oh boy.
ケルト人が何よ、黒魔術が何よ、バカじゃないの。
But that was interesting!
あんた9歳よ、9歳。電車であんなに騒ぐから。 わざわざ電車降りてまでその蛍光塗料みたいな気持ち悪いお化けマシュマロを買ってやったのよ。遅刻してまであんたに買ってやったのよ。あんたどこまで私の顔を潰せば気が済むのよ。
Oh man. As Rosa cursed, she twisted Maria's ear up, almost as though she was about to tear it off. Oh my god, woman! An expression of anguish spread across Maria's face while she frantically stood on her tiptoes, trying to soften the pain in that ear. Rosa suddenly grabbed the candy that Maria had been holding. And she broke it. She threw it on the ground and stepped on it over and over. To Maria, it was supposed to be proof of a memory, of a brief span of time when her mother had bought something fun for her. But now that same mother was grinding it to the ground right in front of her. Yes, because your mother is kind of trash. It was as though a brand had been pushed into Maria's eyes, leaving a mark that could never be erased. Woo! Oh well. As she said that, she struck Maria's head over and over again with her palm. She didn't hit Maria's face, because the red swelling would stand out. Maria closed her eyes tightly, patiently bearing her mother's violence. No, that wasn't quite it. Oh no. She kept bearing Rosa's assault, muttering that over and over. Maybe because you are a witch? Rosa tired from hitting her daughter, breathed so hard her shoulders shook. My god, Maria grasped her hands together, withstanding it, hoping her mother would return soon. I feel like crying. After hurling those words at Maria, Rosa left in the direction of the guest house, leaving Maria behind. Am I gonna have to do this every arc? This hurts a lot. Maria, forgetting even though it was okay to cry, kept staring down at the jack-o'-lantern candy that had been trampled beyond recognition. This is hard. And really depressing. Angie! Beating up a child. You liar!
Rosa, 早く荷物を置いてこいよ。兄貴んとこへ挨拶に行こうぜ。
And then talk about the money.
マリアちゃんはどうしたんや?
She is crying and beaten up. Yes, and probably half dead. At least emotionally. Mm-hmm.
女の子には女の子の世界があったことを私たちはたまに忘れるわ。時には尊重してあげないとね。
そうね。
I'm trying to hold back saying every mean thing I can say.
お気遣いをありがとう、キリエ姉さん。
But it's so hard to hold all this anger in.
ご案内いたします。こちらでございます。お荷物をお持ちいたしましょう。
結構よ。自分で持てます。ありがとう。
Rosa went into her room, guided by Goda. She then closed the door somewhat violently and threw her luggage on top of the bed. She got down on her knees in front of the bed, burying her face in it. For a while, Rosa made as if to shred the sheets with her fingernails, sobbing constantly.
Maria-sama.
Man, Rosa, seek help! Please! Go to therapy! Kanon appeared from behind the thicket after watching Rosa leave. Maria gave a creepy laugh, but to Kanon, who had seen the whole thing, it looked like she was enduring as best as she could. Yes, she is. Thank you for the input, Kanon. I agree. Me too!
仕方ないよ。その程度の器にはその程度のが入り込む。マリアは全然平気だよ。
This is heartbreaking, for real. Kanon got down on his knee and picked up the trampled candy. It was tragic just looking at it. He thought about dusting it off and returning it to her, but really couldn't do so with it in that condition. Just as he was wondering what to do, he met Maria's gaze. No, that wasn't quite right. Maria was looking at the candy Kanon had picked up. Right now, Maria's heart was surely the same as the candy that had been trampled into a pulp. Kanon realized this, but didn't know what he should do. Let's go beat up the mom! Actually, let's not. Kanon remembered that a similar candy he'd received from Maria was in his pocket. Maria stuck out her hand. Kanon thought she was trying to take it, so he held out the candy, but Maria didn't try to grasp it. Then Kanon realized. She was trying to give it back. No matter how tragic and trampled it was, this candy was Maria's. Her mother had bought it for her. No matter how tragic, it had to be this candy and no other. If only it were intact enough that it could be fixed by dusting it off. Kanon hung his head. You're a good boy. Kanon had out this miserable-looking candy Maria wanted. She took it and spoke.
ありがとう。人間には誇りしか払えないけど、魔女には元通りに直すことができるよ。ベアトリーチェなら簡単にね。
Yes, Beatrice, please come. Help this child.
マリア様はベアトリーチェ様のことをご存知なのですか?
Except for Battler, there was no way anyone related to the Ushiromiya family could have failed to know Beatrice's name. But just now, Maria had bragged about Beatrice to Battler. She had spoken almost as though she was meeting with Beatrice regularly. Kanon felt a sharp pain inside his left hand, which was curled into a fist. In the past, a witch called Beatrice had appeared to tempt him and Shannon. He'd always tried to think of it as a bad dream. However, Shannon insisted that it definitely was a real witch. And then this summer, the shrine to the local Shinto god was hit by lightning, disappearing without a trace over the span of a single night. He knew about Shannon breaking that mirror, and he remembered that as the witch departed, she said she'd eventually be revived. And now, this girl who believed absolutely in Beatrice spoke as though she'd met Beatrice herself. Kanon couldn't suppress a vague sense of foreboding welling up in his heart. For a while, Maria remained silent, as though she could see into Kanon's heart. Almost as though she was waiting for a memory of Beatrice to be revived. And then she spoke, as though it was a fact.
マリアはね、ベアトリーチェとお友達なの。今日だって会って一緒に遊ぶよ。
I hope you do. You deserve to have some fun.
ますか?
Yes, we're gonna commit a lot of murder.
遊ぶよ。一緒にね、魔法のお勉強をするの。
The face of that witch whom Kanon had tried to pretend was a bad dream began to creep into the back of his mind.
お父様は研究で大変ご多忙と仰せです。残念ながらこちらへはおいでになれないとのことです。
やれやれ、こっちとら秋の大忙しの中、日程をつけてはるばる六軒島まで来てるんだぜ。親父も少しは愛想をよくしてもらいたいもんだぜ。
ほんとよね。南條先生、
本当に研究や機嫌の問題なの？ベッドから起き上がれないくらいに容体が悪いって言うんじゃないの？
さて、どうでしょうかな。私の
He's fine. He's just really angry and drinking a lot. Okay, actually, he's not fine. He's drinking a lot of absinthe. Nanjo glanced at Natsuhi. It seemed he thought it wasn't his place to speak without first getting Natsuhi's approval.
お父様はますますにご健康でいらっしゃいます。寝たきりなどと失礼極まりない。でも余命3ヶ月なんでしょ？
Yes.
普通に考えれば痩せ衰えてベッドからも起きられないはずよ。
You see, Eva.
でしょ、南條先生。
You see, Eva, there's a thing. There's this article called Man Too Angry to Die. And that's literally Kinzo.
波の患者ならそうでしょうがな。金蔵さんは波外れた気力をお持ちです。
See, as I was saying, man, literally too angry to die.
逆にお迎えも恐れて近寄れないのかもしれませんな。
それほどまでにお元気なら少なくとも安心ね。
そこまで元気ならせめて挨拶くらいはさせてほしいもんなんだがな。親族会議ってのは親父の顔を見に来たって意味なんだぜ。これじゃ何のために来たのかわからねえぜ。
We came for the money.
そう言うな。いればいたで心が休まらないといつもぼやくのだろうが。兄弟一同水入らずで今年も全員欠けることなく集まれたことを喜ぼうじゃないかね。
Spending some time alone playing mind chess about money.
昨年の親族会議でも会えなかったのよ。血を分けた子供たちが2年ぶりに挨拶したいというのがどうして理解してもらえないのかしら。
Well,
挨拶の言葉があるのでしたら私どもがお伝えします。それともエヴァさん、何かお父様にお会いして挨拶以上のお話でもあられるのですか？
Yes, the cash.
いやね、何の話よも
う。予算かエヴァ。夏井さん、堪忍な。エヴァも娘としてお父さんの病状が不安なだけなんや。ちょいと気持ちを汲み取ってな。
その通りだな。
Yes, concerned in a way to see like, okay, so are you feeling sick enough to die soon? I need that money.
今は親父殿が余命を宣告されてから急に親孝行をするようになったじゃないか。なるほど。その姿をぜひ見てもらいたいという気持ちもわからなくない。
何が言いたいのよ。
マニマニマニ。
晩飯までには機嫌を直してくれるよう祈ろうじゃねえか。
Nah, I don't believe it.
それに俺たちは到着したばかり。
Man, Rudolph, if only you knew.
まずは軽く挨拶に訪れただけだぜ。
The mood will certainly improve by dinner, you know, depending on which perspective you're looking at.
親父抜きだってできる。いや、兄弟で意見を統一してからじゃなきゃ話せねえことだっていろいろあるはずだぜ。な、秀吉兄さん。
そうや、ルドルフ君の言う通りや。わしらが全員顔を揃えるのは年に一度しかない。貴重な時間を大事にし、忌憚ない話し合いをせんといかん。
Even though the tea hadn't yet arrived, they were very determined.
でも、その前に本家の素晴らしい調度品に囲まれた客間でのんびりと紅茶を楽しむゆとりがあってもいいんじゃないかしら。
Kyrie's words seemed to contain a subtle admonition directed at everyone gathered there. They all understood as they cleared their throats and straightened their neckties. The atmosphere in the room returned to normal for a while. Yes, the tea!
お茶をお持ちいたしました。
よー、シャノンちゃん。
Yes, she is an angel.
ますますべっぴんさんになったな。
Shannon entered the parlor, pushing the serving cart. Sorry, I was trying to open my water bottle. Everyone decided to relax and enjoy some black tea for the time being. A wonderful aroma began to spread throughout the room. As far as anyone could see, the strained atmosphere from before Shannon's arrival seemed like a lie. Of course, Shannon, who was setting out the tea, probably didn't even notice. Kyrie seemed to laugh faintly at how adult everyone was suddenly acting. Rudolph didn't like it when Kyrie took the initiative and spoke at the family conference. It was his worthless male pride. He probably didn't want to look like a weak man who took advice from his wife. She understood that and did her best to refrain from saying any more than was necessary. So she separated herself from the circle of siblings who only superficially appeared to be enjoying some time together alone and casually drank her tea near the window.
あら、ローザさん。兄弟で水いらずなのでは？
なあ。
ご冗談を。
ごめんなさい。気を悪くしないで。うちの夫に呆れてるだけだから。
Apparently, Rosa hadn't been able to keep up with that on-the-surface friendliness. They'd come here to fight bloodily and dirtily, each trying to grab a part of the inheritance for themselves. She probably didn't like suddenly pretending that they were all chummy. Or maybe she was still too mature for that.
だいぶ風が出てきているようですね。
Yes.
枝葉があんなに揺れて。
もう台風が近くまで来ているのでしょうね。今夜あたりからはだいぶ降るのかしら。
Oops. Well, yes, we'll have a lot of rain and
マリ
murder.
アちゃん、この1年でずいぶん立派になりましたね。
そう見えます？
Yes.
未だに自分のお洋服を畳むことすらできないんですよ。
Do you expect a child to do that at 9? Maybe at that time it was normal, I guess.
こんなにも愛情たっぷりなお母さんと一緒なんですもの。心の豊かな子に成長しますよ。
Rosa fell silent. Maybe she was unsure as to what Kyrie meant by that.
私なんて母親失格ですよ。子に生まれる親は選べない。
Unfortunately, no.
かわいそうで。
お互い様じゃないですか。親だって生まれる子は選べない。
But they can choose when to have a child, right? Rosa bit her lower lip.
どちらが悪いとかじゃなくて、一緒に生きていくんだという気持ちで、ゆっくり成長を見守ってあげればいいじゃないですか。ローザさんは毎日をマリアちゃんと過ごしてるから、小さな変化に気づかないかもしれないけれど、1年ぶりに再会した私たちには、その大きな成長ぶりがよくわかりますよ。
もし本気で言ってくれてるならありがとうございます。
I suppose she wants to believe that, but I'm not sure if she actually does.
ご用がありましたらいつでもお呼びつけください。
Shannon bowed politely and left the room. As Hideyoshi and Rudolph, who had soft spot for women, watched her go, the atmosphere in the room began to revert back to what it had been right before Shannon's visit. Yeah, because Shannon is an angel.
それはそれでできる話もあるというものよ。ねえ、ルドルフ。
ああ、そうだな。
It's time to pick out the knives and fight about the money.
匂いがする紅茶を飲みに来たわけじゃねえぜ。
よかろう。一秒を争ってお前たちがしたいという話を聞こうじゃないか。
やれやれ。
We know.
たくましい人たちね。早速始めたわ。
私も加わらないといけないわ。あの人たち。私が主張しないと4人兄弟であることをすぐ忘れるから。
あなたも大変ね。
Probably.
ちょっと言葉を選ばなかったかしら。ごめんなさい。
ううん。気にしてません。こちらこそごめんなさい。私たち互いに娘を持つ母親同士なんだから。
Oh, with daughters. Oh yeah, right. There's.
会えば変な話ばかりで。
I think they mentioned her last time.
この屋敷の空気のせいよ。ここの空気を嗅ぐと、いっつも私たちはギスギスし合ってるもの。ローザさんとは親族会議じゃない席で、一度ゆっくりお茶でも飲みたいわ。銀座に行きつけの素敵な喫茶店があるの。ぜひ今度招待させて。
ありがとう、キリエさん。その時はぜひ。
Ah, jeez.
いやーね、急に空が暗くなってきたわ。まるでこの部屋の人たちが天気を悪くしてるみたい。
I wouldn't be surprised if they had that power.
あら、ぽつりと来たかしら。
There really were small splashes of rain on the glass of the parlor window. The weather seemed to have worsened faster than expected. Just then a silent thunderbolt struck inside Rosa's head, and she remembered that her beloved child was out in the rose garden. A normal girl would try to go inside if the weather got bad, but Maria was different. She would sometimes get stubborn and refuse to move if rain or even spears fell from the sky. That's right, I told that child to just stay there doing that forever, didn't I? Oh man. Is this the consequences of my actions? Everyone looked back at Rosa when she let out a small scream.
なんだ、どうしたんだね。
ごめんなさい。ちょっと表に行ってきます。すぐ戻ります。
なんだなんだ。どうしたってんだあいつ。
The troubles of being a mom who isn't a great mom.
それより始めたら？私たちの本題。
そうね。ローザ抜きでも進められる話よ。
Oh no, they're gonna take the money without Rosa.
話を戻しましょう。
She's gonna need that money for therapy! Rosa dashed from the entrance hall into the rose garden. And when she opened the door, the wind that hit her was too strong to be called a light breeze, and told her that the typhoon was approaching faster than she thought. Just as Kyrie had said, the wind was mixed in with the small droplets of rain. There was a low rumble of thunder. It could start raining any time. Rosa headed for the rose garden. She headed for the place where she had scolded Maria for a short while ago. It was almost lunchtime. The children had been told to come to the mansion around lunchtime, so they were probably in the guest house waiting to be called. Even if Maria didn't come to them, they would surely think I took her to the mansion with me and wouldn't worry much. After all, she had been with her mother, so there should be no reason to worry. I was here, and I abandoned my daughter to the worsening weather. Yes. Maria! Reflect on your actions! I was right. She was still standing stock still, exactly the same way she had been in the place where I had scolded her. Held in her hand was the candy that I'd bought, given her, and then stepped on and crushed. With that gripped in her hand, she stood there as the powerful winds whipped her hair about, tormenting her. She's gonna catch a cold! Please seek help, ma'am! Oh my god. This is the true horror to me. Forget the murder and the gore. This, to me, is the real horror of Umineko. It was the witch. Oh no! Yes! You lose to your impulses too much, ma'am, please. I am begging, seek therapy. Rosa buried her face in Maria's small chest, crying and begging for forgiveness. And once again, those tears dripped down after who knows how many times. If only the brilliant sun had been shining on the two of them. All of their cares would have been evaporated, and it might have felt like they could begin anew. However, what surrounded the two of them was the worsening weather. Sadly, there were only fierce winds with occasional thunder. The sound of Maria's sniffling brought Rosa to her senses. If Maria stood exposed to the wind for too long, she'd probably catch a cold, you know? Because you told me to stay here forever! Rosa thought she'd already received Maria's forgiveness, so she hadn't imagined Maria would refuse. But that expression on Maria's face didn't look like that of a child resisting her mother. So Rosa couldn't understand why Maria wanted to stand still pointlessly as the weather grew even worse. Maria answered that question. Rosa struggled to find words for a moment, then fell silent. They'd only just managed to make up after all. She chose her words carefully, trying to get Maria to come with her to the mansion without denying the witch outright.
Beatrice が来るの？そう、ならここじゃなくてお屋敷の中で待ちましょう。いつまでもこんな風の中にいたら風邪をひいてしまうわ。来る！ Beatrice は来る！
Just say Beatrice will be sad if you catch a cold.
そしたらね、ベアトリーチェにね、お菓子あげるの。トリックアトリートするの。ジャックオーランタンのマシュマロお菓子あげて、ハッピーハロウィーンって言うの。
Maria pulled yet another sweet out of her handbag, moaning ooh. Rosa was bewildered, didn't know what to do, as Maria started being difficult again. Oh boy. At that time there was a sudden blast of thunder. It was probably a sign that this island had been sealed off by the storm, detached from common sense and reality. So after this moment, all common sense would probably cease to apply. The wind blew even stronger, and amidst that blizzard of scattered rose petals, a figure appeared, leaving Rosa unable to imagine that this was a scene from reality. It was probably, no, definitely fantastical. After all, that shadow of a person was... Hey, let's fucking go! She is here! Let's go! Maria dashed over to the shadow. Normally, Rosa would scold their daughter if she dashed over to someone whom she hadn't seen before and didn't know. Look at this beauty of a woman! Oh my god. She is everything. But Rosa forgot to do that, was unable to do anything but stand there, stunned at this beautiful, beautiful woman. Look at her with the drip! She is the best.
魔女は呪いにて風邪をひかせはするが、自らがひいてはなんとも間抜けな話よ。せいぜい自らが風邪をひくことなどないよ。これからも精進するがいい。
Beatrice is good! She patted Maria's head as she said this, smiling roguishly. Rosa couldn't have known the name of the woman who was happily spoiling Maria. However, Maria had called it out in the beginning when the woman appeared. So even though Rosa had never met her, even though the woman still had introduced herself, Rosa was able to know her name. However, that name held a special meaning on Rokkenjima and in the Ushiromiya family. There's no way something that stupid could be...
Happy Halloween.
She is the best! What the fuck is this outfit? This outfit is the drip. It's the best. As a matter of fact, let's see the outfit in full. Where is she? There she is. Oh. I wanted to see the other one in full. Oh well.
これをわらわにとな。天国にも地獄にも行けず、煉獄の闇にてさまよう男の唯一の明かりも、こうして歌詞と人の世とも、人ならざる者との世とも切り離された今のこの島で、これほどふさわしい歌詞はないかもしれぬな。マリア、それはどうしたのか?
Oh, my mom stomped on it. The witch noticed the sweet Maria was grasping. It was Maria's candy, which had been stomped on by Rosa until it reached this beautiful state.
Oh,
Maria didn't go so far as to say that it was her mother who'd step on it. However, she probably believes it was a witch and not her mom, which sucks. However, for some reason, when the witch saw that candy, she looked at Rosa and grinned. A chill went down Rosa's spine as though this gaze was staring straight through her. Maria held the candy out gleefully. Rosa could do nothing but watch, stunned. How did this person plan to trick Maria, somehow undoing the fact that the candy had been pitifully trampled by me? Maria looked as though she believed it could be fixed good as new. Without real magic, there was no way such a thing could be possible. Yes.
さあさあマリア、目を閉じて思い出してごらんなさい。本当はあんなにも素敵なお菓子だったから、思い出の中のお菓子はいつもふっくら。だからあなたも思い出してごらんなさい。本当はどんなお菓子だったのか。
Oh, Beatrice is serotonin in person for me. Along with those strange words spoken as though singing an improvised folk song, the witch threw the sweet into the air. Maria was closing her eyes and remembering just as the witch had told her to. What shape had that crushed candy really had? Therefore, only Rosa saw that scene. The sweet that had been thrown into the air burst into a gold color. No, that wasn't it. Those were golden butterflies. It scattered into several golden butterflies, and they began to gather at the witch's hand, which was held up to the sky. As she did this, unbelievably, it returned to its beautiful original form, no different from when it had been bought. Give me a second, I need to go to the toilet yet again. Alright, sorry for the wait, guys. Alright. Only Rosa and the witch witnessed that scene. Unable to comprehend what was occurring right before her eyes, Rosa stood with her mouth hanging open, completely forgetting to shut it.
もう目を開けてよいぞ。受け取るがよい。これでそなたの歌詞も元通りだ。
ベアトリーチェはいつもすごいすごい。
Well, how does it feel like to know that your daughter has been telling the truth this whole time, huh? How does it feel? She probably thinks it's a dream, and I was like, this didn't happen, I cannot be wrong. Okay, I don't believe she would be that mature, but in that way, but... There was a stark contrast between Rosa's shock and Maria's innocent joy. Was that what the witch was laughing at? Probably. A smile floated to Beatrice's face, one different from the smile she'd shown Maria.
わらわの顔が何かに似ているというのか？そうまじまじと見られては穴も開こうぞ。
ごめんなさい。
Those words triggered something very clearly in Rosa's mind. Rosa knew this face. She knew it from the portrait of the witch. But no, wait. Could this mystery woman really be?
マリア、この歌詞の代わりに、そなたにはこれを与えよ
う。Ooh, it's the letter! The witch pulled a western envelope from her pocket and gave it to Maria. However, when Maria made to open it, the witch stopped her. Is this Beatrice's first move in chess?
それを開けるときはすぐに訪れるが、それまで決して開けてはならぬ。大事に持っているがよい。 そなたを黄金鏡へ誘う招待状となろう。
黄金鏡、やっと連れてってくれるんだね。
Yes, after all this death.
大事にしまっておくのだぞ。誰にも見せてはならぬ。
But her mom saw it.
守る。魔女との約束は絶対に守る。
そして、これはそなたへだ。
A knife!
私。
She probably hadn't imagined that the witch would speak to her too. Rosa was bewildered by the second Western envelope, which was thrust before her. She'd seen this type of envelope before. There could be no mistake. It was one of Kinzo's special envelopes, used when he wrote with his own hand and bearing with the Ushiromiya family crest. It was sealed with red sealing wax, and furthermore it had a mark that seemed to have been made by the head's ring. In other words, even without asking what was inside this letter, Rosa knew that this woman, whom Maria called Beatrice, was trusted enough to be placed in charge of a personal letter of the current Ushiromiya head.
4兄弟の誰でもよかった。だが、ここでそなたと出会ったということは、金蔵のルーレットがそなたを選んだということなのだろう。
Oh!
ならば受け取るがよい。
So, I wonder if the roulette just means who gets the letter. Like, the letter with the proposed to solve the riddle.
そしてその中身を、全兄弟の揃う晩餐の席上で読み上げよ。
Do what she says! Rosa looked back and forth several times between the witch's face and the envelope that had been handed to her. Today was a family conference, and the biggest object of discussion would be the inheritance problem, so she had joined together with Eva and Rudolph, and they planned to force a certain condition on Kraus to try and extort several 100 million yen in cash out of him. It was if the witch could see through all of that. What does she intend to announce when all of her siblings are gathered? Murder! And with a personal envelope that no one but the Ushiromiya head can use.
マリア、天気が崩れるぞ。ゲストハウスへ戻り、昼を待つがよい。それではローザ、後ほど会おう。
Yes.
その席で改めて名乗らせてもらおうぞ。
Well, that's a promise I'm looking forward to. The witch turned her back to her, laughing. Then she began to head towards the mansion with an air of composure. Maria energetically called out and watched her go, then began to dash towards the guest house, leaving Rosa behind. As though she wanted to inform the other cousins of her fortunate meeting with the witch as soon as she could. At last, Rosa was left alone in the rose garden as the winds grew stronger. Unable to do anything but pray what happened was just a daydream. Oh, if only you knew. She is also watching. My cat, I mean, she is sitting here. Well, if Rosa does in fact manage to get therapy, she's gonna be like, I don't know, what was that? A witch came up to me, gave me a letter, impressed my daughter, and she apparently can get my daughter to do things that I can't. When the witch reached the entrance hall, Genji could be seen there. Genji welcomed the guests approaching from the entrance hall with a respectful bow.
お待ちいたしておりました。ベアトリーチェ様。
久しぶりだな、源氏。
They know each other.
老いたではないか。
どれほどに追いようとも、家具は家具らしく。最後までおつと。
あれの妻がお前に嫉妬したことも懐かしい。金蔵は元気か？
大変お元気にございます。
The witch probably laughed because she knew Kinzo's own doctor had announced that Kinzo didn't have long to live. However, if anyone actually looked at Kinzo and noticed his vigor, which wasn't at all what you'd expect from someone nearing the end of his life, they might easily call that doing extremely well. Maybe that's what the witch was laughing at.
挨拶に行こうではないか。30年ぶりに。互いに呪いの言葉を吐き合うもよかろう。
Let's go. We're gonna... She's gonna call him old and he's like, oh, there you call me old! As the witch grinned, she started walking, leaving Genji behind. Her gait was like that of a family member who knew the inside of the mansion well. Genji followed her in the manner of one who served her. At that time, Kyrie came out of the parlor. She'd probably gone out to fix her makeup or something. And when she saw Genji following a witch, she was surprised, although her expression did not change. A guest for Kinzo had arrived, despite him being almost dead on the day of the family conference when the fate of their inheritance was to be decided. And furthermore, this person was familiar enough with the Ushiromiya family household that Genji was following behind her. Kyrie immediately realized that this person she had never met before was deeply important. Kyrie and the witch's eyes met. Realizing that it would be rude to pretend not to notice, she greeted the witch.
はじめまして。ルドルフの5歳だったか。
さようでございます。ルドルフ様の今の奥方様であられます。キリエ様でございます。
From this exchange, Kyrie realized that this was a guest of fairly high rank, even amidst the Ushiromiya family. She is the most honored guest, the most blessed presence in this house, the everything, the sunshine, the light of everyone's life. And the fact that this was a guest on that level, coupled with her resemblance to the portrait in the entrance hall, made Kirie's eyes instantly open wide. Everyone is like, oh shit, oh fuck, wait. Oh no, the portrait updated. I like this outfit. She has the drip.
キリエと申します。初対面でしょうか。もし以前に挨拶をしていたなら、名前を忘れてしまって申し訳ございません。
うすうすは想像がついているくせに、わらわにあえて名乗らそうというのか。
Kyrie thought she'd be given a sociable and humble greeting. Her expression grew slightly cloudy at that openly aggressive response. At any rate, this didn't seem to be a person she could grow to like. Oh no, the women are gonna be fighting! But if Kyrie's guess were correct, this witch probably held a vital key to what her own husband was most interested in. Something that couldn't help but influence tonight's family conference. So without shooting back a retort, Kyrie silently watched her go up the stairs to the second floor, with Genji following behind. So when someone tapped her shoulder from behind, she was so surprised she almost choked. It was Natsuhi.
キリエさん、このようなところに立ち尽くしていかがなさいましたか?
Oh, the picture is the same as before. It reverted back to before.
魔女の肖像画に見とれていただけです。
黄金の魔女、ベアトリーチェですか。今日の後宮家の復興は、彼女が授けた黄金がなければ成し遂げられなかったとか。お父様らしい幻想的なお話ですね。
Natsuhi spoke in a perfectly ordinary way. It was the sort of comment you'd expect from someone convinced that the thought of a witch existing was ridiculous, no more than another of Kinzo's ramblings. However, for some reason that point of view didn't seem quite right to Kyrie, and now, just a moment ago, she herself had seen the golden witch come in from the entrance hall and climb up the stairs. So Natsuhi's words made it feel as though someone was trying to deny the existence of that person, or else make it seem like she was never there to begin with.
ごめんなさい。少し頭痛がする気がして、ちょっと休もうと思います。
あら、そうですか。なら、良い頭痛薬がありますよ。用意させましょう。
Yes, she has a lot of headache medicine from all the shit that she had to put up through. The hallway in front of Kinzo's study was filled with the scent of sweet poison, peculiar to that green liquor. Genji was completely used to it, did not grimace. And the Golden Witch didn't grimace either.
この中からどれほど出ぬのか。
すでに数年になるかと思います。
Probably 30 years.
それほどまでにわらわをカゴの鳥としたいか。哀れな。それを願うそなたが今やカゴの鳥、書斎の亡霊ではないか。それに気づけぬとは哀れな男よ。
Well, it do be like that.
あなた様と再びお会いする日までは、おそらく文字通り亡霊となっても研究を続けられるでしょう。
Man too angry to stop.
愛か狂気か猛襲か、それも講じれば魔力となるか。悲しき魔術師よ。
The witch grasped the doorknob to the study. When she did, there was a sound like that of flesh burning and splitting open. It was the sound of the doorknob literally burning the witch's hand. What?
ベアトリーチェ様。
なんだこれは。魔除けか。あやつめ。こんなものに頼らなければ、おのがみも保てぬというのか。
Apparently not.
その扉は、ベアトリーチェ様にはおつらいものと伺っております。私がお開けいたしましょうか。
Yes, let her in.
いや、よい。あやつが勝てば、わらわは永遠のカゴの鳥。あやつが負ければ、愛に狂い、すべてを失った哀れな魔術師の生涯が、笑い草となって残るだけ。もはや金蔵もわらわさえも、ゲーム盤に並べられた駒に過ぎぬ。あとは、ルーレットの目が勝敗を分けるだけよ。ルーレットが目を見せるまで。わらわと金蔵が再会する必要はない。
The witch looked at her hand, which was beginning to heal bit by bit, even though it had been horribly burned.
あるいは、そのための魔除けなのか。なるほど。それもまた潔し。すべては今や、金蔵のゲーム盤の上よ。気に入ったぞ、金蔵。そなたとのゲーム、楽しませてもらうぞ。わらわに恋焦がれ、すべての生涯を投げ出したローマ術師の最後のギャンブル。
The man who thirsted too much.
楽しませてもらうぞ。
What? What, Kinzo? You were this close to seeing her, but, well, now she won't. Because he's a little bitch.
誰か。失礼いたします。昼食をお持ちいたしました。
お、
入れ。失礼いたします。
Oh, I wonder what conversation they will have now. After receiving approval, Kanon entered the VIP room, pushing the serving cart that carried lunch. The servants called this room the witch's VIP room. That was because Kinzo strictly ordered that it always be kept clean so that it could be used at any time. Even so, guests would not be allowed into this room no matter who they were. That's why, at some point, the servant had started calling it the VIP room, which was supposed to be set aside only to welcome the special person Kinzo waited for, the witch from that portrait. And today, Kanon realized that this was absolutely true. When he entered the room, the blonde-haired witch was gazing out the window. Outside, the rain was no longer falling weakly. As she looked out the beautiful rose garden, which had been tended to over several days for today's sake, as she saw the winds and rain ravage it, was she struck by some sentimental feelings. Kanon was not able to tell anything from her back, which faced him.
お食事の用意をさせていただきます、ベアトリーチェ様。
Are you gonna have to pay her back for the charm you stomped? Kanon went out of his way to call out the witch's name, hoping that she'd turn around. He wanted to know. He wanted to know if the witch who tempted him and Shannon in the past had really appeared again. When he did, the witch whose name had been called laughed her back, still facing him. Holding back her voice, she laughed. Kanon was startled. It was almost as though she had read his mind and knew that he had called out to her, hoping to make her turn around.
良い匂いだな。どうやらクラウスは良い料理人を入れたと見える。
はい。近年入ったゴーダという料理人です。
And he makes good lunch, apparently.
料理の腕が良きことは何にも勝るものよ。
I agree!
美食は人の世で生きる快楽の山中をなす。
Yes.
千年を飽きぬにはこれを欠かさぬが秘訣よ。
I agree. Food kills boredom. It also is the way to people's hearts, at least mine. Kanon and the witch's eyes met. Then she grinned. Without a doubt, certainly. This was clearly the witch from that day, Beatrice. The witch that no one but he and Shannon could see in the past finally held a form, and had arrived openly as a guest through the entrance hall. Whoop?
久しぶりよの。家具の。カノン。
How you doing, Mr. Furniture? Well, fun, isn't it? Kanon tried to remember to be polite to this guest for the time being, but the visit of the suspicious witch made the dark clouds start to shroud his heart, especially considering that today was a family conference.
何をしに現れたのかと気が気でならぬと見える。そうであろう。
He's like, oh shit, oh fuck. Kanon didn't force an answer. The switch probably reads minds, so it's pointless to go to the trouble of saying it out loud. Of course she could read even his inner resistance. So the witch giggled at Kanon's childish defiance.
金蔵との最後の約束を果たしに来た。
親方様との最後の約束。
To commit murder!
わらわは金蔵に山をなす黄金を貸し付けた。それを金蔵が放棄するとき、わらわは利子をつけて返却を受けることになっておる。
Yes, with bodies.
それをもらい受けに来た。
僕には何の話かわかりません。
Oh, Kanon, you will know soon. However, uncertainty began to gather in his heart. Whatever this witch had to say, it couldn't be anything good.
違いない。魔女の話にろくなものはないぞ。
Oh? Oh, what's this? Oh! Oh my god! I think I'm being raided. Give me a second. Woo! I didn't get the notification in the stream, but I did get it in the chat. Serena, thank you for the raid! Oh my god, that's a lot of people. Thanks a lot! I am marveling at a witch at this moment. I hope the others enjoy. And I'm reading. Niveau Pax is now following. Thanks for the follow. Oh wow, this is awesome. Thank you so much.
ソロモン王のように偉業を成し遂げる者も時にはおる。最も多くの場合は、
Oh man.
語るようにろくな目には合わんがな。
So we might be getting to some tomato parts soon. But for now, we're gonna have just a witch. A witch dissing at people and bullying furniture. Yes, Kinzo is very crafty. I don't think he's powerful. He can make apparently scorpion doors, but his thirst doesn't make him powerful enough. Yes. Kanon couldn't guess what the witch was muttering and laughing about. All he knew was that anything that made this witch laugh must have the exact opposite meaning for everyone else. and in the back of his mind, the horrifying words the witch had spat at him in the past began to resurface. What did you think? I'd lend you my power and ask for nothing in exchange. I'll gladly assist a pair in love, and in exchange I'll enjoy watching the cruel fate they'll eventually meet. I have never come across a better show, not over the course of 1,000 years. Yes, watching lovers fall apart is indeed amusing, huh? I love Beatrice, she's the best. She's mean, but she's the best. And she has such a good laugh. Why is she perfect?
故郷を貫く鮎の川、黄金鏡を目指す者よ。これを下りて鍵を探す。
Look, she's so regal. I can't. The witch suddenly began to recite the bizarre poem. It was nothing he remembered hearing.
それはまさか魔女の碑文。
Indeed, it's the epitaph. It's about murder. It's about a lot of killing. There was no mistake. It was the epitaph that accompanied the portrait of the witch Kinzo had put on display. The relatives had guessed that it referred to the location of the hidden gold, but no one knew what it meant for sure. The witch suddenly began reciting the epitaph. Let's go. Yes, furniture hears a lot about murder.
黄金鏡へ返す日がやってきたのだ。喜ぶがいい。
Yes, take us, Beatrice.
家具の日々がようやく終わる時がやってきたのだ。
Oops.
お前はそれをずっと望んできたはず。
Yes, yes. I want this! I want to go to the Golden Land!
ただ存在するだけの日々は苦痛に他ならない。魂ある者にとって写しをは固執すべきものだが。
Complicated expressions fitted across Kanon's face. This was the day of release that Kanon had been looking forward to. However, the coming of this day had been mercilessly sudden, and for some reason he didn't like the hateful tone used by the witch as she informed him of the coming of this long-awaited day of rest. Kanon couldn't even decide what emotion he should be feeling. Joy! You should be feeling joy! I wonder. Because I am furniture. I am merely just a chair. I am the Frongy chair. Yes, put him up in Animal Crossing. Yes. Wait, it's fun causing misfortune when you're a witch.
わらわは退屈から逃れるために人間たちの運命にブランデーや果実を練り込みケーキのように焼き上げるのだ。オーブンの中で苛烈な運命に踊る人間たちのなんと面白きこと。
Oh man. Listening to Beatrice is like getting straight serotonin.
にかけてはちと知られていてな。わらわの料理の腕を見に。時には遠方から珍客が見物に来ることすらあるくらいよ。
The cooking with the human bodies.
ごときには理解できぬか。
Alright. Kanon couldn't understand what the witch was saying. However, he fully realized that this was a terrifying being who treated the fate of humans as a show, enjoying it whenever some harm befell them. However, furniture has no soul or life, much less a fate. Pitiful furniture does nothing but serve until the day they're released from the real world. To furniture like that, the witch who had become to release them from everything was a being to be received with overflowing affection. Even though the day Kanon should have been waiting impatiently for her had come, he was confused by his own inability to accept it easily. Which was it? The face of Shannon, the person he loved as a sister, rose to his mind. And for some reason, Jessica's face did too. Oops! What's this, Kanon? I thought you rejected her! Kanon bit his lower lip hard enough that it hurt. Thinking about Jessica like that was something furniture must never do. Oh no, he's in love! Even though he thought he'd known that, even though he'd complained about Shannon's relationship, why was it that Jessica rose into his mind at a time like this? He felt a little shameful at his own naivete. And to forget about Jessica, he turned his thoughts to Shannon. Shannon is also furniture. She has no reason not to rejoice at the coming of the day when all will return to nothingness. But Shannon, through her relationship with George, has experienced an emotion forbidden to furniture. Even though she isn't qualified to be bonded with him, she's still trapped in a dream that she isn't allowed to have. Will Shannon be able to joyfully accept this development? No, she won't. Shannon still has lingering regrets. God! Those will probably become a great source of pain and torture for her. I can't read English! And those lingering regrets were planted by none other than the Switch. Why? Because that will be more interesting, nothing more.
Shannon 待ちわびていたはずの日に知ってはならない感情を持ちとても辛い思いを強いられるだろう。僕たち家具を解放する日を手土産に訪れてくれたあなたに感謝する。
It's surely gonna be fun!
そしてシャノンにその日を受け入れがたくしたお前を憎む。
What's this, Kanon? You're experiencing emotion.
未練に苦しませてやりたかったぞ。しかしお前は愚直に家具であり続け、わらわに籠絡されることもなかった。
You sure?
しかし、シャノンを慕いすぎたようだな。
Okay, I love Beatrice, but please don't bully Shannon. She's an angel.
そなたの未練となる。それはわらわへの憎悪へと変わるのか？わらわを殺したくば殺してみるがよい。金蔵の家具ならばその程度の力は持っていよ。
I'm actually gonna check something real quick. I am not sure if my chat is working out well since the start of the stream. I've had this thing in which the chat isn't working. So follower only mode is like off, but the phone and email verification was on before and I turned it off. So actually it should work, but in case it doesn't, feel free to tell me, chat. Feel free to let me know, like on Twitter or directly in the chat. I want to make sure this doesn't happen next time.
しかし、わらわを殺せば、家具どもに安息の日は永遠に訪れぬぞ。そなたにそれが耐えられるのか？わらわによる解放を本当に拒むことができるのか？
Release us all, Beatrice, please.
ひざまずけ。
No. I will grovel right now.
ひざまずき、わらわの靴に口づけをするがよい。さもなくば、わらわはこの場を立ち去ろうぞ。帰りて永遠に姿を現さぬ。
Isn't that technically what he wants?
カノン、そなたはそれに耐えられるのか？
Oh shit.
黄金鏡の扉が開かれれば、そなたの苦難に満ちた家具の生は終わろう。望むならば、人間としての生を与えてもよい。
I'm sure he's gonna say no.
さすれば、もはやジェシカとは対等。貴様も知りたいはずだ。恋の味が。
And the taste of my shoes.
甘き恋の沼にて溺れるシャノンを見て、そなたは羨ましがっている。 恋の味を知りたくてうずうずしておるのよ。
The taste of soul, shoe soul.
やめろ。僕を再び籠絡するつもりか。
Yes, kiss the shoes.
僕はお前を楽しませるためのおもちゃになり果てたりしない。
ほう。ならばシャノンで満足するとしよう。
Oh, damn.
種はそなただけではないのでな。時には実を結ばぬ果実もある。鍵を手にせし者は以下に従いて黄金郷へ旅立つべし。第一の晩に鍵の選びし6人を生贄に捧げよ。
Oh my god, I wonder if it's gonna be murder like in in the first chapter. Faces smashed in with shovels.
残されし者は寄り添う2人を引き裂け。
Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this. The witch recited the epitaph again. It was so sudden and diverged so strongly from the current topic. However, that challenging smile made it seem almost as though she was using that epitaph as a threat against Kanon.
この碑文の儀式を成し遂げるには、第2の晩に寄り添う2人を生贄に捧げねばならぬ。
Oh no!
寄り添う2人は誰でもよい。
Oh no!
夫婦でもよいし、恋人同士でもよい。誰を選ぶかは儀式のルールにのっとり、わらわが気まぐれに決めてよいことになって。
Oh, she's gonna pick George and Shannon, isn't she? Oh no!
これほどふさわしい第2の晩の生贄もないとは思わぬか？
Welp. Tearing apart the couple for sport! Kanon realized something. Until today, he thought he'd given up everything else and lived as furniture, acting like furniture. But in reality, that wasn't true. He loved Shannon too dearly. Therefore, when Shannon was in pain, Kanon shared in that. If only Shannon had continued to live as furniture, indifferently like Kanon, without any regrets in this world, he wouldn't have had to be in so much pain. The witch planned to toy with Shannon, who had known the taste of love. No, whom she had thought the taste of love as she killed her. She wouldn't be welcomed into the Golden Land and granted a compassionate release. Instead, if the witch had her way, she'd been used as sacrifice, subjected to the utmost of torture and pain, and forcibly turned into human foundation for this evil ceremony. And this witch would probably make Shannon meet this horrible fate for no reason other than it was amusing to her. Yes, killing people for sport is fun, huh? Furthermore, she was threatening to do this so that she could make Kanon, who had never submitted to the witch, finally give in. It was that simple. In the end, though he had tried to resist the witch and avoid pleasing her, he had only made things more amusing for her. After all, he was furniture. No, a toy. They were nothing but toys meant only to distract her from her freedom. From her boredom. It's time! Eat the shoes!
どうするカノン。ひざまずけばシャノンを生贄に選ぶことを控えんこともないぞ。お前のような玩具を一度屈服させてみたかった。
Without even a fragment of elegance, the witch sneered at Kanon and laughed God! Why do I keep tripping up on words? Indecently? That's right, she'd predicted Kanon's submission even before he'd made that decision himself. Eat the shoes! Eat the shoes! Kanon chose to get down on both knees in front of the witch. Eat the shoes! It didn't matter what happened to himself. However, the one thing he couldn't bear to see was Shannon, who had given him his only reason to live during his days as furniture, being toyed with like this. That was why kissing the shoes of the witch was an easy oath for Kanon to make. When his quivering lips actually touched the witch's shoe, Beatrice let a look of ecstasy rise to her face, then laughed with a voice filled to bursting. At that moment, the witch, who had grown bored of life after 1,000 years, was completely filled with the evil emotion that she lived for. Eat the shoes! Eat the shoes! Eat the whole soles and maybe the socks. Actually, don't. Give me a second. Everybody, I have to visit the bathroom again. Alright, I'm back. Sorry I keep getting up to go to the bathroom. As soon as Beatrice appeared, I drank an entire bottle of water. When the lunch ended, the relatives moved to the parlor. Rosa had bought a high-class brand of black tea from a famous store in Ginza. That had been served, and the parlor was filled with a pleasant aroma. Since the children were there too, the adults tried to interact like normal relatives on the surface, talking peacefully about recent events and how their children were growing up. It had started raining, so the children couldn't do anything but sit here like this, watching TV, unable to go outside. Maria was apparently a TV kid, and she kept watching a boring daytime program without getting bored, giggling all by herself. At first, Patler joined in, seeming to deepen his relationship with Maria, but he had gotten up early that morning and was gradually hit by a wave of drowsiness. Oh, is it the next morning already?
大きなあくびだね。朝がずいぶん早かったんじゃないのかい？
ま、そんなとこだよ。
I need to get to dinner time.
緊張が解けて、雨の音を聞いてるうちに眠くなってきちまった。
緊張？
I just realized I forgot something way back here. Give me a minute, guys! Oh, I just realized I forgot my phone. I'm a silly. Wait. No. God, I'm back again. I have my phone now. And now I can continue reading for the next 30 minutes before I go to bed. I need to keep a watch.
一応、俺なりにはな。
A sleepy man. Batra gave another great yawn and slowly lay down on the sofa. He really did look tired. George and the others had tried talking to him, thinking it was a sign of boredom, but when they realized he really was sleepy, they decided to let him be.
Oh yeah.
I love Kumasawa so much.
食事の後にすぐ横になるとサバになると申しますよ。
Her laugh is the best thing.
冗談よせ。
I want to be like Kumasawa when I'm old.
ゴーダさん、今夜は子牛のステーキだって言ってたぜ。サバのステーキになっちまう。
熊沢さん、こいつ本当に眠いらしい。
Yes.
毛布を持ってきてあげてくれないかな。
Give a big blanket.
さあ、どうぞ。
That was actually kind of cute. She's a cute one. The cutest grandma on earth. Kumasawa brought the blanket over from the shelf. The large parlor wasn't cold, but the air had gotten a little chilly. So when Butler took the blanket, he immediately wrapped himself up in it like a turtle.
本当に眠かったんだね。何時かに起きる？起こしてあげるよ。
いや、 特に希望はなんか用があったら起こしてくれりゃいいし、なんにもねえんならずっと眠らせてくれりゃいいって。おやすみ。
Oh, good night, Battler.
バトラー寝ちゃうの？お昼寝お昼寝マリアもする。こらマリア、バトラーは眠いんだから放っておいてあげなきゃ。
Yes,
熊沢さん、
he has
もう一枚毛布をもらえるかな。
he has to recover. It was doubtful whether Maria really wanted to take a nap. She probably saw Battler wrapped up in a blanket and wanted to do the same. When she received the blanket from Kumasawa, she joyfully wrapped herself up in it and she had to set up a camp again in front of the TV.
せっかく6年ぶりにいとこがみんな揃ったってのによ。こいつ今回の親族会議の主賓だって自覚全然ねえな。
Except he isn't.
聞こえてるぞ。のんびり昼飯を食って、しかも外は台風で雨。何もすることがねえってことは、つまり俺の出番じゃねえってことさ。
それはどうかな。何も起こらないから何もしないなんて受け身の姿勢じゃ人生は退屈だよ。
違うぜ、そういう意味じゃない。なんつうのかな、こういう時俺はこう思うことにしてる。出番じゃねえんだよ。こいつがお芝居だったならさ、俺の出番じゃねえってことなんだよ。だったら舞台袖でおとなしくしてるに限るってわけさ。
自分の人生はいつだって自分が主人公だろ。
Yes,
そんな
I
脇
guess.
役根性でどうすんだよ。自分から進んで舞台に上がらなきゃ。
そういう意味じゃねえ。今は俺の出番じゃねえって言いたいのさ。
Not his turn on the chessboard, I guess.
悪いな。眠くて思考がめちゃくちゃだ。勘弁してくれ。
確かに眠くてなんだか尻滅裂なことを言ってるね。
I wonder if it's possible to hear my cat purring. She's right here on the mic. Novi, say hello to the chat room.
もうそっとしてあげようよ。
She's getting squid squid.
私は聞き捨てならねえぜ。自分の人生はいつだって自分が主人公だよ。ちょっとそのあたり本格的にバトラーと議論したいけどな。
寝ぼけてるだけだよ。深く考えちゃダメさ。
なんかさ、自分は主役になれないから舞台に上がりたくないみたいな根性、なぜだかすっげえうぜえって思って。
Scripty Scrape is now following. Thank you for the follow. I hope you're enjoying me reading about murder. About murder that's coming soon. With distant eyes, Jessica gazed out the window at the grey rose garden obscured by rain. When she put her forehead up against the glass, the pleasantly cool sensation seemed to chase away memories she was trying to forget.
君の出番じゃなかったってことなのか。じゃあいつ君は舞台に上がるんだよ。
In that case, who the heck is the main character on this stage? Beatrice is the main character, evidently. Oh.
もうやりたい放題じゃねえかよ。なんだこりゃよ。めちゃくちゃじゃねえか。
そなたがわらわを否定する根拠とする18人だの19人だのという理論が実に滑稽だったのでな。指し手を変えてみたまでよ。そなたがわらわを否定する最大の根拠は単にわらわが駒としてゲーム盤に並ばなかったからというだけのこと。
What?
ならばこうしてクイーンを先に指せばいいだけの話ではないか。初手にてクイーンに道を開けるはチェスの王道ではないか。
ふざけやがって。
Well, didn't you say you were gonna torture her? It looks like it's the other way around.
認められるわけねえじゃねえかよ。魔女が歩いて玄関からやってきただと。ふざけるじゃね
え。Man, Batter is raging.
なんだ前回のゲームではそなたに散々自由に手を進めさせたぞ。こたびはわらわがそなたの手に合わせて駒を動かしたに過ぎん。焦点にてもう降参か。
I guess he kind of sucks at this.
くそったね。ふざけるな。誰が降参なんかするかってんだ。上等な指し手だぜ。好きに進めればいいじゃねえか。なるほどな。まだまだお前の出番は終わってないってわけだ。
It's your turn when Beatrice says so.
好きに手を進めりゃいい。今のうちに十分な陣形を築いとく。俺が必ずしのぐ。必ず詰める。言い訳なんてされたくねえ。存分に来やがるってんだ。
Well, we have 3 arcs left, man.
まだまだこの程度じゃ魔女なんて認められるわけがねえぜ。そうさ。さっきマリアのお菓子を魔法で直したように見えたが、実は同じお菓子をもう一つ懐に忍ばせていて、芝居がかった方法ですり替えて。ああ、そうそうに決まってる。ダメだぜ。全然ダメだぜ。
ほうほう、ローザは歌詞が蝶に散る瞬間を見たぞ。
知らねえよ。そんなのは幻覚か手品か。さもなく
Maybe she saw it wrong.
大した問題じゃね
え。説明のつかぬ部分はさまつと切り捨てたか。なるほど、それがそなたの受け手であるな。
A pretty bad move.
墓穴を掘ったぞ。Ushiromiyaバトラー。
Man, Batter, you suck at this.
お前の手番はまだ先だぞ。もうしばらくわらわの手番を進めさせてもらう。まだまだこれからだぞ。魔女の手番は。
Roll credits. When they started hearing Batter's snores, the relatives went their separate ways, leaving the parlor and letting Batter sleep in silence. Even though it had been so lively in the parlor with so many people gathered there, when all of them scattered at once and were swallowed up by the vast mansion, it created an eerie silence with no sound except that of the rain.
いや、そんな人間には一度も会ったことはないぜ、姉貴は。
会ったことなんてないわ。
Everybody talking about Beatrice.
本当なの？
私もちょっと玄関ホールに出た時に挨拶をしただけです。20歳ちょっとくらいに見えたわ。私は名乗ったんだけど、彼女は名乗らなかった。源氏さんに案内されて2階へ登っていくのを見たの。
なら源氏さんを見つけて直接話を聞いた方が早いやろ。しかし妙な雲行きになってきよったな。
The mystery woman had spoken to Kyrie. Without naming herself, she'd sneered that Kyrie should have had a vague idea as to her identity. That brought someone to mind. And then there was her look-alike, the witch in the portrait. And the portrait that changed.
そいつは自分が肖像画の魔女様だとそう言いたいってのかよ。
Yes.
私はそういう意味で笑ったんだろうと理解したわ。私とは初対面でも私があなたの5歳だと知っているような口ぶりだった。
姉貴、本当にそんな奴は知らないんだね。
くどいわよ、そんな金髪女。この屋敷に出入りしたところなんて見たこともない。
そんなようなことはどうでもええで。問題はその女が自分はベアトリーチェだと名乗り、お父さんの財産管理人を名乗った場合の方や。
あるいは
愛人の娘を自称して遺産の分配を要求するつもりかしら。
Everybody wants to get the
い
money.
ずれにせよとんでもないジョーカーが紛れ込んだものね。兄さんが呼んだの？それともお父様が？
まずいな。俺たちは兄貴をうまく言いくるめりゃなんとかできるものと思ってきた。しかしこれじゃ話が振り出しに戻っちまう。
あなたが私の知らないところでどんな策謀を巡らしてたのか知らないけれど、どうも少しは対策を立てる時間を得られたみたいね。
Everybody is playing mind chess over money while Beatrice and Batter are playing like for murder.
今からわずかの時間でも対策を協議できる方がマシだ。
何しに現れたかわからへん以上、撃てる対策もかけられとるで。向こうの狙いは何なんや。
決まってるでしょ。お父様の遺産の正当な後継者だと言い張るためよ。お父様は未だにベアトリーチェの虜なのよ。その娘がいたなら全財産を譲りたいと言い出すはずだわ。
Probably.
妙な遺言状でも突きつけてくるかもしれない。そりゃ裁判沙汰にすれば半分の4分の1は主張できるかもしれないけど、多分決着するまで遺産分割はできなくなるわよ。それは困る。
We gotta have the money!
ルドルフももちろんローザもね。
俺たちはそれぞれの都合で早急にまとまった金がいる。俺たち最大のウィークポイントってわけだ。なら狙いは何だ、キリエ。読めるか？
初耳なんだけれど、私たちには急ぎまとまったお金が必要だという前提があるのね。
キリエさん、男の商売には攻めの時にこそ軍資金がいるようになることもあるんや。それを分かってな。
なーにルドルフ、キリエさんには話してなかったの？
You didn't?
すまん、隠してたわけじゃないんだ。実はちょいとした。
いいわ。あなたが私に話す必要がないと判断した話、それをこの場では追求しない。それより急務は黄金の魔女様の狙いを探ることなんでしょ？
ああ。
I think Kyrie is the only one with the priorities kinda straight. Rudolph had certain measure of trust in Kyrie's unique thinking technique, chessboard thinking. Of course, it didn't give him any more peace of mind than fortune telling. But every time Rudolph was polishing up some important strategy, he'd give a great deal of thought to Kyrie's advice. For a while, Kyrie pressed her finger against her forehead, considering.
今日の今日まで彼女が訪れることが伏せられていた以上、彼女は私たちに何らかのサプライズを与える目的があった。それが財産なのか、親族としての認知なのかは分かりかねるわ。でも今日の今日まで訪れることを伏せていたということは、事前に知らせることで対応を打たれたくなかったと言えるかもしれない。ということは、彼女の目的は対応を打たれると不利になるものらしい。わかる？
なるほどな。例えば親父が以前に書かせた遺言状そのものだとか、血縁の認知とそれを証明できるものだとか、それが揺るぎないもので盤石な証拠だというなら、むしろそれは。
そうね。むしろ疑う立場にある私たちに弁護士でも鑑定士でも連れてこさせて、グーの音も出ないくらいに事実を突きつけるべきなのよ。それができるならね。
Oh, I'm sorry I'm not saying much. I'm just listening attentively to the conversation without being able to say much.
敵は真正面からの正攻法では勝てんちゅうことを意味するわけやな。
I'm also gonna test something very quick.
絶対勝てる切り札は堂々と切るに限るで。
回りくどい切り方はむしろ切り札を曇らせるもんや。
結論から言うと、皆さんがご就寝の遺産問題に直接もしくは間接的に絡む相当のサプライズが突きつけられると予想されるわね。おそらく向こうはそのインパクトだけでこちらを圧倒できるつもりでいる。しかしその何かは相当のインパクトを伴いながらも絶対ではない。
つまりそこがこちらのつけ込む余地というわけね。
あんたはほんま頭の切れるお人や。これだけでも分かればだいぶ心強いで。
Eva is the only one who actually knows what she's doing, I guess.
ペースに飲み込まれるなっちゅうことやな。
結局のところ非常にシンプルな結論よ。相手が何を切り出そうとも焦らず冷静に対応する。交渉術の初歩の初歩じゃない。これじゃあ相手の思考を読めたとはとても言えないわ。
いいや、相変わらずなかなかのもんだぜ。こちらに攻める余地があると分かれば余裕も変わってくるってもんだ。
わからないのは彼女とクラウス兄さんの関係ね。クラウス兄さんにとってもサプライズなのか、それとも彼女を呼んだのは他でもないクラウス兄さん自身なのか。もし後者だったなら随分と厄介なことになるかもしれないわよ。
そうね。謎の女を親族会議の当日にこっそり呼びつける。いやらしいセンスがどことなく兄さんっぽい感じもする。
姉貴、こうしよう。女の正体がはっきりと証明できない限り、俺らはその女のいかなる身分も認めない。
Oh damn.
それが最善ね。
I just can't imagine Beatrice will be like, you won't accept me? Then let me kill the man.
正体不明の女の発言で私たちの会議がかき回されちゃたまらないわ。
血縁証明でも示してみせるかもしれんで。お父さんの血が流れてることが例えば母子手帳でも示されたらどうにもならん。
証明物なんかいくらでも偽装を疑える。仮にそれが本物だったとしても当人が本人だと証明するには病院沙汰にしなきゃならん。
Jeez, what a stretch.
少なくとも今の六軒島でそれを証明することは不可能だ。
All of this because of money.
その通りね。つまりこういうことよ。今の六軒島では何が示されても真実だと受け入れることはできない。台風が去って叱るべき場所で証明してみせるまで何も信じられないってこと。
そういうので上げ足を取りまくるのは姉貴の得意技だな。任せるぜ。
バカ言ってんじゃないわよ。
Her speciality is something else, sir.
協力するのよ。私たちにはお金がいる。それも急ぎまとまった額が。私たちは運命共同体よ。こんなところでひょっこり現れた謎の女に遺産の当てをぶち壊されてたまるもんですか。
Doesn't feel great, does it? Rudolph and Eva always formed a united front as siblings at times like this, sickened by the idea that their own inheritance might be snatched away by an outsider. Kyrie noticed how indomitable they looked, shook her head slightly, and gave a small sigh as she gazed out the window. Outside it was still raining heavily, and everything was grey, having lost all vibrance. The lush garden that the sun had shone on earlier now felt like a lie. For some reason, the words Eva said a second ago kept repeating in Kyrie's head. So, in other words, it's something like this. No matter what's shown to us now on Rokkenjima, it can't be accepted as truth. There was an odd nuance to those words. At that moment, the island was closed off by the typhoon and isolated. They had access to no public institution and no hospital. So on this island, no matter what manner of proof related to the outside world was shown, it would always be possible to call it a lie. It would be impossible to prove that something was the truth. Not that they were isolated from the outside, all truths whose proof lay in the outside world would be called lies. So does that mean that right now, on this Rokkenjima, no truth exists at all? Does it mean that everything will now be ruled by lies alone? It almost gives the illusion that we've left the human world of truth and been shut away inside another world, one of lies. Yes, it's the witch's chessboard as we know it. Kyrie remembered that woman's appearance one more time. She remembered both what she had looked like and the witch of the portrait. On this island, which has been cut off from the world of humans and shut away in the world of non-humans, a non-human being has come to visit. Kyrie couldn't think of the smile that had appeared on that woman's face as anything other than the portent of misfortune. I get the feeling my chessboard thinkings missed the vital premise. One that will be necessary to understand that misfortune-bearing smile. Yes, that smile made me feel as though someone inhuman was mocking me. I based my reasoning on the assumption that our opponent is a human like us. However, just like this island is now, she may be a being that isn't a human. And human values may not matter to her. If that's true, all of our reasoning is useless. For what reasoning has the witch been invited here today? Only one thing is certain. Now in this instant, she's staying somewhere in this vast mansion.
Maria.
Oh no. Is Umineko really doing this to me? Giving me a Rose and Maria scene before I go to bed?
今日のお昼にお外で私たち会ったわよね、女の人に。あれは誰？
おお、何度も言ってる。
Oh no, I'm not ready.
マリアは以前にベアトリーチェと会ったことがあるの？
おお、毎年会ってる。
Every year.
毎年？このロッケン島のお屋敷で？
おお。
じゃわからないでしょ。そうなの？いつから会ってるの？何年前から？
Many.
おお、わかんない。
A lot?
わからない？どうして？去年？一昨年？
もっと前から。おお。
Rosa was astonished. Only the Ushiromiya family mansion existed on this island, so there couldn't have been any humans other than themselves here. And yet Maria said she'd been meeting with this suspicious woman every year during the family conference. Excuse me, Beatrice is not suspicious, she is the best. If what Maria said was the truth, then that strange woman called Beatrice had been at the family conference every year. That's insane! Is Maria saying that eerie woman was at the family conference every year and none of us ever noticed it? Even though Rosa had just met the woman herself a couple of hours ago in the rose garden, she was overcome with a strange emotion that told her not to accept that existence. What in the world did I meet with earlier today in the rose garden as the typhoon grew near and the winds roared?
Mari, あなたは毎年彼女と会ってると言ったわね。会って何をしてるの？
Yes, Maria, what do we do?
歌ったり、魔法を習ったり、魔法陣の書き方も習うの。
Oh, no murder?
そう、それはすごいわね。マリアがよく自由帳に落書きじゃない、魔法陣を書いたりしてるわよね。それも彼女に教えてもらったの。
Most likely.
はい、ベアトリーチェにね、お手本書いてもらうの。ほらほら、見て見て。
Yes, Mom. Behold these occult circles I have drawn. Maria joyfully fished around in her handbag. Then she drew out a single notebook and began opening to that page. Most of the pages were covered with drawings that were literally scribbles. All of them were occult-like things. And while it might sound rude to Maria, who was joyfully flipping through the pages, they were all creepy. I hope she puts them in DeviantArt when she's old enough. Oh, I remember these! From last chapter. Each one of these pages in the group Maria opened to had an eerie magic circle. Furthermore, at a glance, Rosa could see that Maria hadn't drawn them. The strength of the strokes, the thickness of the lines, how clean the shape was. I wish I could do line art like that! By itself, it wasn't enough to guess the background of the person who had written it. But it was enough for Rosa to be sure that it was someone older than Maria. Rosa had to accept it now. There really was a person on this Rokkenjima that she herself had known existed until now. And this person had come to the family conference every year to play with Maria.
Maria, その魔女のベアトリーチェはここに住んでいるの？それとも私たちのように島の外に住んでいるの？
ベアトリーチェはロッケン島の魔女だからこの島に住んでる。
じゃあ親族会議のない日にもこの島にいる？
Well, she lives on this island. What do you expect? Oh no. What in the fuck? Can't believe it. I can't believe it. How long has this unknown witch been living on this island? Forever, I guess. I used to live on this island. I lived on this island, passing the time in the mansion, in the rose garden. And even so, I never encountered a witch like that. Right? I mean, probably because you don't deserve Beatrice's attention. Or maybe because none of the siblings could see her. From all the times they just were at each other's throats. It's hard to see a beautiful woman that way.
Mama, どうしたの?
Well, I was probably getting a little mixed up with my memories from when I was a young girl. When I was young, I was terrified of the witch, unlike Maria. So for me, the name Beatrice was a synonym for terror. Surely my fear from those days has been revived by the appearance of a woman going by that name. She can't be a witch. She's obviously a human calling herself Beatrice, right? That's right. That witch entrusted me with an envelope. What in the world could that be? Rosa pulled that western envelope out of her pocket. It was one of the envelopes that bore the Ushiromiya family crest, which Kinzo used for his personal letters. And its red sealing wax had been sealed by the head's ring, which Kinzo held. Reading English sometimes is really hard, which meant this envelope belonged to the Ushiromiya family head. In other words, it was from father. Why was a woman calling herself Beatrice holding it, and why did she give it to me? That's right. I'm sure she said it to read this aloud at dinner. What other word could be written inside? Murder! A sense of uncertainty gripped Rosa. As if opening this envelope might let loose incredible misfortune. However, at the same time, a little curiosity sprouted up too, urging her to find out what was written inside before the other siblings could. Using common sense, one might guess that it could contain the huge decisions somehow related to father's inheritance. Actually, since she'd received it from a woman who called herself Beatrice, there simply had to be some connection. Does it mean this person wants not just the 4, but a total of 5 people to be included in the inheritance? I need a large sum of money, and I can't wait long. I need money! I feel like such a sinful daughter for discussing father's inheritance while he's still alive. But this is no time to spout off cheap ideals. And I've been even colluded with Rudolf Nissan and Eva Nissan in order to get some money out of Kraus Nissan. Coming from that position, I can't help but see the appearance of the witch as a sign of approaching misfortune. What could be written in here? I'm sure it's something frightening. Shall I read it secretly myself first? The witch requested that it be read at the dinner table with everyone gathered. But if that's what she wanted, why couldn't she just read it aloud herself at dinner? Why did she go at all the trouble of entrusting it to me? Simply put, is it because she doesn't mind if I read it secretly beforehand? It'd be better to secretly It'd be better to secretly read the contents first. I understand that meaning breaking the my promise, but this is no longer the time for cheap ideals. Depending on the contents, I should probably discuss it with Eva-san and Rudolf-san too. They're always really good thinkers when it comes to this kind of thing. When I gulped and put my finger to the red sealing wax. Something suddenly pulled on my sleeve and I let out a small scream. Ah! Don't open letter. In Maria's expression was the same portent of misfortune she'd felt from that witch, and it sent a tingle up her spine.
Beatrice はママにその手紙は晩餐で読みなさいって言った。魔女の約束は破っちゃダメだよ。
違うわよ。
What?
ちょっと封筒を見ただけじゃない。約束は守るわよ。ママもいつもマリアに約束は守りなさいって言ってるもんね。ママももちろん約束は守るわよ。
Do you?
うん。ママはいい子。
I wouldn't be so sure about that, Maria.
その笑い方、可愛くないからやめなさい。
That laugh is cute. I disagree.
そういえば、マリアも封筒をもらったわよね。中にはなんて書いてあったの？
開けてない。ベアトリーチェは開ける時が来るまで開けちゃダメって言った。だから大事に持ってる。うん。
そう。マリアはベアトリーチェの言うことはちゃんと聞くのね。
うん。マリアはベアトリーチェの弟子だから、お師匠の言うことはちゃんと聞くの。
Oh. The game lags a little bit sometimes.
そう。
Rosa realized something. Mixed in with Maria's gaze was the glint of someone that wasn't her. If Rosa broke the rules and opened the envelope here, Beatrice would definitely learn of it. Because Maria was the witch's disciple. Maria was in contact with that witch.
ママは約束を守るわ。だから安心するようベアトリーチェに言ってね。
うん、伝える。
ねえ、マリア。
Maria is such a cutie.
話をしたいんだけど、どうすれば会えるのかしら。
知らない。ベアトリーチェはとても気まぐれだから、いつも突然姿を現すの。マリアからは会う方法を知らない。でもね、いつもマリアのことを見てるの。だからマリアが困っていると、後できっと助けてくれるの。きっとね、姿を消してマリアの近くに隠れてるんだよ。
Like in the painting?
その笑いをやめなさいといつも言ってるでしょ。
No! Rosa reflexively hit Maria on the head. That put a stop to Maria's laughing, but it wasn't able to erase the color that had risen to those eyes, a color that seemed to bear a portent of misfortune. Rosa swore. She swore that, at least until they left this island, she would not leave Maria alone. She couldn't allow an unknown being to make direct contact with her daughter any longer. Welp? I guess? This looks like a good spot to stop at. Okay, let me see if I can read the clock this time. I can't read the clock!
Maria, 戻ってこねえな。
Okay. But I think Okay, I think this is a good spot to stop. Let me save. Oh, I can finally look at the full outfit. Yes! She looks perfect! Ah, yes. Thank you, game, for this blessing before I go to sleep. Alright. I always save like 2 different spots just in case. You never know. Alright. Enough for today. I have to get my due sleep. How much did I stream today? Okay, a little bit less than usual, but like 30 minutes less. But I think I got a fair share of what I needed today. Okay, chat. This will be it for tonight. I will be streaming again next week. I will be continuing Umineko. At the same hour as today, so like at 7:30 at Central European time. And I will try to see until next week if I can get the chat room fixed and the notifications. I have been dealing with this problem since the last stream, in which all my followers from before could comment just fine, but everyone new couldn't. And even disabling followers only mode, nothing changed. So maybe my bots are malfunctioning or something? I also didn't see the rating alert on the screen. So the next few days I will check my settings and see if there's something wrong. And try to fix the chat room. I hope by next time it's fixed, because I would like to talk with everyone some more. But yeah. Before I go to sleep, I want to thank Serena again for the raid of party of 102 people. I've never had this much people on my stream before, and I hope everyone who came enjoyed me reading and thirsting about Beatrice. Reckless Sano, thank you for following, even though I'm basically going to sleep right now. I hope you'll enjoy your stay, and like I said, next stream is next Thursday. 7:30 p.m. at Central European time. We'll be doing more Umineko, and hopefully next time I will get to the murder and the deaths that I really want to see. I wish everybody a good night, or a good afternoon, whatever time it is over there, or good morning. See you guys! Have a good night! Bye-bye! Oh wait, actually, maybe I can raid someone. Is anyone streaming right now? Is there channels I follow? Okay, nobody I'm following is streaming right now, sadly. All right, then I'll I guess I'll just go to bed without raiding anybody. All right then, guys. Not even my okay, I saw my brother was streaming, but he isn't. All right, sorry guys. Bedtime. Bye. Good night.